It's Super Regional time from the Hill City of Lynchburg, Virginia. We're getting set to watch the University of Lynchburg take on Shenandoah University. Kyle Haney hanging out with you on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. Good afternoon, baseball fans. In honor of Tina Turner, we're calling it Baseball Thunderdome. Two teams enter, one team leaves, one team books a ticket to Cedar Rapids in the D3 College World Series in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. We're going to get at least 18 innings of fun because it's best 2 out of 3 between these two ball clubs. You got to win 2 to advance to the College World Series. These teams have advanced to this point by winning their regions last week. Shenandoah was at home, and they actually dropped the first game in regional play 22-9 to TCNJ. Things were a little bleak. Things were a little dark for the Hornets in Winchester, but they stormed back. They won 4 games in 3 days to get to this spot. Lynchburg, they were down in the Rocky Mount, North Carolina regional. It started well. Lynchburg beat Lebanon Valley 2-1 on day 1. They took out the host team, North Carolina Wesleyan, 16-9 on day 2. And then on Sunday, Lynchburg lost the first game to Lebanon Valley, but came back and got a 5-3 victory to secure their spot in this Super Regional. And this is not the first time these two ball clubs have met. You're getting a look at some footage from 2 weekends ago, the ODAC tournament at the University of Richmond. These two ball clubs met twice. It was Lynchburg taking game 1 on Friday, 13-5, a real offensive explosion. Shenandoah obviously had their highlights, as you can see there. Their team leader in average and so many other categories, Gavin Horning. He was pumped after a home run. But Lynchburg, they came storming back in that Friday game. They won it 13-5. And then in the championship game on Saturday, Lynchburg falls behind 8-0. They run off 11 straight runs. And then the Lynchburg Hornets hold on to get an 11-9 victory and an Old Dominion Athletic Conference championship. So these ball clubs, with those 2 tournament games and then the 2 regular season games, they've met 4 times. Lynchburg has the series lead this season right now, 3-1. The last few years have been super competitive between these ball clubs. I think anybody that is plugged into the Division III baseball landscape knows that. These are 2 of the best teams in the country right here, 2 ranked teams. And in fact, when you talk to both coaches, Coach Lucas Jones for Lynchburg and Kevin Anderson for Shenandoah, they were both kind of wishing they could have had this matchup in Cedar Rapids at the D3 World Series. But one team's got to go. One team will have their season come to a conclusion here. Best 2 out of 3. And we got to talk about starting pitching. Pitching's going to be important from both sides. Of course, it'll be Jacob Favor getting the ball for Shenandoah today. He is 7-1 this season, but the only loss came to Lynchburg in that ODAC tournament game. Lynchburg, on the other side, they are going to start Zach Potts. He has been the ace of the staff pretty much all season long and for most of his career. He is undefeated at 10-0. The earned run average is 2.30 for Zach Potts, and we actually got a chance to catch up with him before the game yesterday. There he is getting some final warm-up tosses in. Gray uniforms. Lynchburg will be the road team, Shenandoah the home team in this one. But we got to chat with Zach Potts, had some fun with him, get his thoughts on the big matchup and how Lynchburg got to this point. So let's hear from Lynchburg's starting pitcher, and then we've got the first pitch coming up next from Bank of the James Stadium in the Hill City of Lynchburg. Welcome, baseball fans. We're coming to you live from Bank of the James Stadium in the Hill City of Lynchburg. I'm calling it the Thrill City, and I called this guy the Thrill from Oilville last weekend. Zach, you start on Friday, you pitch great, you keep your team in the ball game, 1 run through 8 innings. Then you come in to close. Tell us what it was like doing a little bit of both. First time being a closer in college?
Yeah, I'd come out of the bullpen 2 other times, one time in regionals last year, and then 2 years before that in the ODAC tournament. But I've been begging for Bees to give me a save opportunity for the entire time I've been here. And luckily I pitched well enough on Friday to earn that. And so he trusted me, gave me the ball, had some conversations about health and everything, but I felt great. And it's definitely a different feeling to pitch with that kind of adrenaline. Never had that as a starter.
It was sizzling coming off your hand, and I know you usually bullpen on that second day, so body-wise you're probably fine. How about the second day after that, and are you good to go for tomorrow's game against Shenandoah?
Yeah, I'm good to go tomorrow. I took the day off after we won the regional, and that's just because I need a day off every week. Otherwise, I'd overwork my arm. But no, I'm definitely good for this week, having essentially a bullpen, getting ready for that close, and then through another light bullpen the next day.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing this guy again, the thrill from Oilville. Zach Potts going to try to keep his team in one more ball game, Super Regional play between Lynchburg and Shenandoah.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
It's not just about basketball, or it's not just about school. It's about developing yourself as a person altogether.
You're getting a look at the final team huddle there for Coach Kevin Anderson and the Shenandoah Hornets. Both teams are nicknamed Hornets in this one. If you don't know, fans, and those who do know, obviously know that can be kind of a fun deal, but also a little frustrating for the broadcasters because, you like to use the different names to refer to the ball clubs, but it's Hornets on Hornets. There will be a Hornets team advancing to the D3 World Series in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. There's Lynchburg's leadoff man, Brandon Garcia, getting set. Let's run down the starting lineups for you, and we will start with Lynchburg. They are the visitors. We are in the Hill City of Lynchburg, but you do a coin flip to determine the home team. So Lynchburg will be the home team in Game 2 tomorrow, and if we get to that Game 3, if necessary game, that would mean Shenandoah will be the home ball club again. But here's the offensive order for Lynchburg, led by that guy, number 7, Brandon Garcia at shortstop. His high school teammate, Ben Jones, will bat second and play second. The All-American Avery Neves in left field batting third. Riley O'Donovan will DH out of the cleanup spot. Eric Hyatt, Lynchburg's first baseman today, will bat fifth and wear number 5. Gavin Collins plays third and hits sixth. Jackson Harding in right field batting seventh. Holden Fiedler is the catcher hitting eighth, and Carson Atkins, center fielder, batting ninth. Lynchburg starting Zach Potts on the mound. For Shenandoah, defensively, we'll go around the diamond. Pierce Booker plays first base. Kyle Lisa playing second. The shortstop is Frankie Ritter. He is the all-time Old Dominion Athletic Conference hits leader. At third base, it's Ryan Clausen, the Claw. We got a chance to catch up with him in an interview yesterday. Really a great personality, and you'll hear that later on when we play some clips from that. In the outfield, in left, it's Hayden Madigan. In center field, it's Cooper Anderson, outstanding defensively. In right field, Gavin Horning. The pitcher is Jacob Favor. Jacob Favor has taken the ball twice in starts against Lynchburg. A no decision in a regular season matchup, a loss in the Old Dominion Athletic Conference matchup. And when you look at the numbers against just Lynchburg this season for Jacob Favor, it's 9 1/3 innings across those two games. He's given up 14 hits. Batters hitting .368 off Jacob Favor. The K to walk ratio is still really good. He struck out 11 and only walked 2. The earned run average a little bit inflated. And as I pointed out, only loss of the season officially for Jacob Favor was against Lynchburg in that Old Dominion Athletic Conference game. These two ball clubs have put together incredible seasons outside of what they've been doing lately, which we will revisit a bunch as the games go on. But Lynchburg 41-7. Shenandoah is 42-8. And Lynchburg, just when you think about the things they've done in the last few seasons, it's incredible. 36 wins last year, 36 wins the year before. And Shenandoah is really the same way when you're talking about two teams that are just really at the top of their class when it comes to the conference, the region, and also the nation. Shenandoah, this is region title number 4 for them. Regional championships in 09, 10, 19, and 23. Lynchburg, their first regional title to get to this point. This is the furthest a Lynchburg baseball team has ever been. And just like that, we are underway. Looked like an inside fastball from Favor that missed. Getting some great visuals from our LHSN team. We'll talk about those folks. We'll give some shout-outs to people watching and listening across the country. I know this one has a lot of eyeballs and a lot of ears on it, and with good reason. We think it is going to live up to the hype. 2-0 count here for Brandon Garcia. The leadoff man for Lynchburg hitting from the left side. Lynchburg in those road gray jerseys. Shenandoah in the red tops. They have very good results in those red tops, we're told. Just one loss this season wearing the red for Shenandoah. There's a fastball upstairs, so it's 4 straight to Brandon Garcia. He is aboard with nobody out in the top of the first inning. We're at Bank of the James Stadium. The old school Lynchburg and Central Virginia natives know this as City Stadium, and it has been around for a while. This stadium was built in the late 30s, early 40s. It's got a lot of tradition, a lot of history. The great fact is that Joe DiMaggio actually drove in the first couple runs here at Bank of the James Stadium. That was an exhibition game between the New York Yankees and the Brooklyn Dodgers to christen this stadium. And I did say Brooklyn Dodgers correctly. That tells you how long this stadium has been around. Went through a big refurbishing and an update in the early 2000s. Ben Jones is hitting. Still no strikes yet for Jacob Favor. We got to get our attention back to the ball game now. Dispense with the statistics about the stadium and focus on this one. 1-1 count. Favor finally gets one across there for a strike. Infield is double play depth for Shenandoah. They will shift from time to time, but not with Ben Jones here. Snap throw over to first base. Gets Brandon Garcia back on the dive. Ben Jones is a freshman, just like the guy on first base, his high school teammate, and they have been really big keys for Lynchburg this season as first years. Ben Jones swings on this one, bangs it into the right field corner. It's a foul ball. That one was in doubt the entire way until it finally just barely arced foul. Ben Jones, the guy we nicknamed Benny Bombs because he does have, that explosive power. Ben Jones, it's 8 home runs, 10 doubles, and 2 triples on the season. Ends up just being one of those long strikes for Jacob Favor. Let's see what he comes back with. Away target here from his catcher, Tyler Blittersdorf. That is the battery mate. Shenandoah has been using multiple catchers in this postseason run, and it's Tyler Blittersdorf wearing the gear here today at Bank of the James Stadium. Favor will check on Brandon Garcia one more time. Tyler Blittersdorf has started now 29 games this season. He hits .373. Offensively, I think he's the best option as a catcher, but probably not the only option we will see from Shenandoah and their coach Kevin Anderson. That fastball was way out of the zone from Favor, and now the count is full at 3-2. Nobody away here in the top of the first. Ben Jones, another Lynchburg hitter, stands on the very inside part of that batter's box. I think you can see that on your screen. Favor is set just below the chin. Deals. Strike 3. Garcia took off. He'll get to second on the steal. Blittersdorf, just from the body language from the Shenandoah catcher, he's wondering what happened, why he didn't hear anything on the call there. It may have been one of those delayed steals for Lynchburg where Brandon Garcia actually did not take off like a true steal on the pitch, but got into the secondary lead and then started sprinting. Avery Neves will hit with 1 out. Avery Neves is a back-to-back All-American, one of college baseball's best in the last 2 seasons. Numbers are back down to human level. He's still pretty good in the human category. Avery Neves is hitting over 300 this season. He's driven in 52. He's walked 47 times. But believe it or not, baseball fans, those numbers are actually down from his incredible seasons in 21 and 22. Another ball for Favor. Seems to have a little trouble finding the zone here. That one does come across for a strike. Looked like a breaking ball. Jacob Favor pitches in the low to mid-80s, an outstanding changeup that he will throw in any count. It's one of those changeups that's hard to see, too. I don't think it has a lot of break and a lot of two-seam sinking action on this changeup, but I think it's hard to identify. 1-1 pitch coming up to Avery Neves. And obviously, as you saw from those first 2 pitches of the at-bat, Jacob Favor throws a pretty good curveball as well. Maybe not the true 12-6 curveball. And, of course, when we use that term 12-6, we're talking about a clock face, 12 down to 6. That's how it breaks. Favors is more of that 1 to 7 kind of an action, or maybe even 2 to 8 o'clock, depending on how he torques it. Here's Neves fouling one away, and the count will be even again at 2 balls and 2 strikes. We've got a good crowd here at Bank of the James Stadium. I think it's going to be even bigger tomorrow. You know, some folks couldn't get off work today, so we're glad you're watching. Getting a Memorial Day weekend started right. College baseball, Memorial Day, sunshine. What could be better here, right? Here comes a 2-2 delivery from Favor. Looks at Garcia, who's bouncing off a bit. Neves shoots one into right field. Gavin Horning on to make the grab. Initially, it looked like it might sink down there. But Horning, with good speed, read it nicely and took it out of the sky for the second out of the inning. So Brandon Garcia still stationed in scoring position for Riley O'Donovan, the designated hitter for Lynchburg. Steps up with 2 outs in the top of the first inning, a chance to really punch the clock and get his team up. Riley O'Donovan was the player that was actually injured in the celebration when Lynchburg beat Shenandoah in the ODAC championship game. But he's back out there now, pretty close to 100%. That one looked like it kind of fumbled out of the hand from Favor. Didn't have the great backspin, it looked like. Might have been a curveball that he missed, but it's ball 1. Infield back to regular depth with the exception of the second baseman, Kyle Lisa, who's jockeying with Garcia there at second. Nice stop from Blittersdorf to keep that one in front. Keep Brandon Garcia stationed at second base. It's a minor league ballpark, and as usual, you get the big backstop, a lot of foul territory, something to keep an eye on. The double-decker wall out there in the outfield. You can see that in your screen. Hitters count for Riley O'Donovan. Favor lifting the leg and firing across for strike 1. Jacob Favor on the season. Season ERA is 3.66. This will be start number 16. He's made 1 relief appearance, but he's basically been the 1 or 2 all season long for Shenandoah. And I think you can see from his stuff, our keen baseball fans anyway can tell why he has been the 1 or 2 all season. You can tell why he's got that 7-1 record. Crowd coming alive for this pitch. 2-2 count with 2 outs. Favor checking Garcia again. Keeps threatening to bounce off. He will take off and run. Swing and a miss from Riley O'Donovan. Lynchburg gets 1 on, but stranded in scoring position. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Jacob Favor, and we head to the bottom of the first at Bank of the James Stadium in the Hills City of Lynchburg.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
Look what you're missing!
So we're underway here in Super Regional action. It is Lynchburg and Shenandoah. Lynchburg gets 1 on. The leadoff man, Brandon Garcia, drew a walk, stole second, but nothing doing as Jacob Favor gets Ben Jones to strike out. Avery Neves flew out to right, and then one more punch out. The designated hitter, Riley O'Donovan, out of there swinging. Here's Lynchburg starter, Zach Potts. He has been outstanding his entire career at Lynchburg. He is the career wins leader for the Lynchburg Hornets with 25 W's in his career. He is undefeated this season. Zach Potts enters with a 2.30 earned run average, and batters hitting just 245 against Zach Potts. He has only allowed 11 extra base hits this season. He will be facing a talented Shenandoah lineup led at the top by the fifth-year man, the grad student shortstop Frankie Ritter, another guy that we got a chance to catch up with and talk to. Those interviews are on the Super Regional website, which you can find links to at either the Shenandoah or Lynchburg website. And we're so appreciative of all the hard work everybody has done to put this this super regional together. A lot goes into it. Fastball missed there from Zach Potts. Let me finish out the lineup here for Shenandoah. Ritter leads off, then it's Colby Martin, Gavin Horning, Tyler Blittersdorf, Pierce Booker, Ryan Clausen, Hayden Madigan, Kyle Lisa, and Cooper Anderson. Here's a ball left side to Garcia. Throws over. Eric Hyatt tried to get the backhand pick but could not come up with it. Probably going to go down as a hit, but we'll wait and see something official here at Bank of the James Stadium. But Frankie Ritter is aboard. Leadoff man on for both ball clubs to begin inning number 1. Around the diamond for Lynchburg, let's start on the left side. It's Gavin Collins at third. You've already seen the shortstop, Brandon Garcia. Ben Jones is the second baseman. Eric Hyatt at first. In the outfield, it is Avery Neves in left, Carson Atkins in center, and Jackson Harding patrols right for Lynchburg. That is an elite outfield defense and really an underrated piece, I think, of Lynchburg's success. They are very good defensively all the way around, but specifically in the outfield. A battery mate for Zach Potts is Holden Fiedler. Ball 1 to Colby Martin. It looks like it has been ruled a hit, so an infield single for Frankie Ritter. He put some breathing room between he and the next person that will try to track down his conference hits record. The all-time Old Dominion Athletic Conference leader in total hits, Frankie Ritter. There's a look at the pick from Eric Hyatt, pick attempt, I should say. Martin will bash this one into center field. Long run for Carson Atkins, but he has room there. He'll just barely edge his way onto the warning track, and it is out number 1 of the inning. Good job for Lynchburg to retire Colby Martin. He had a weekend in regional play. I wanted to get to that during his at-bat, but Colby Martin, get this, fans, hit .625 in those 5 regional games up in Winchester. It's 15 for 24, Colby Martin was. He got 15 hits in 3 days. And I know they had 5 games in there. Lynchburg only played 4 games in their regional play. But still, 15 hits in 3 days. It's 3 hits a game is what it equals out to. Runner going to go. Fiedler throws to second. Oh, it's bang there, but the ball popped out. I don't know that Ben Jones, the second baseman for Lynchburg, ever truly had it secured, but it is a stolen base for Frankie Ritter. That is swipe number 21 this season for Frankie Ritter. He's 21 of 28, and that's a big part of Shenandoah's offensive game plan. They run, they steal bases. Stolen base number 115 as a team this season for Shenandoah. And they're getting them at about an 80% clip. Soft shot up the middle. This will be a tough play for the second baseman, Ben Jones. He fields and throws across the body to first base to get Gavin Horning. So some good glove work on display already. Ben Jones couldn't come up with the ball at second on the steal attempt. Eric Hyatt couldn't come up with a pick attempt on the first hitter of the game, Frankie Ritter, the first hitter for Shenandoah anyway. But there you see a nice play by Ben Jones to hustle in, throw across his body to get the speedy Gavin Horning. Junior Tyler Blittersdorf from Oxford, Pennsylvania steps in with a runner on third. He'll hack at the first pitch, sends it backwards for strike 1. A quick mini scouting report on Zach Potts. The fastball is mid to upper 80s. He throws that wipeout slider. He'll throw that slider in any count and does feature the changeup. But when he's on, to me, it really becomes fastball and slider. He'll use the four-seam fastball, but he's got a really good sinking, tailing action on his two-seamer, which in this case would go away from the left-handed hitter, Blittersdorf. 0-2 count early. Let's see how nasty Zach Potts gets. Well, maybe he wants to go for the K right now or a setup pitch. Just off the plate. Very nice design there, pitching plan from Lynchburg and Zach Potts. I think he executed it exactly where the associate head coach Travis Beasley would have wanted it. Coach Bees handles most of the pitching stuff here along with help from the rest of the staff. That fastball missed inside. Great coaching staffs in general. Kevin Anderson, the head man for Shenandoah, has got a great group around him. Knowledgeable baseball guys, hard workers. And Lucas Jones for Lynchburg, same way. You put these two coaching staffs up against any in the country, and they stand tall. Blittersdorf bangs this one right center gap, but it's not going to have enough to get to the warning track, and Carson Atkins will casually reel it in. So each team has left a runner in scoring position in the first inning, but we've still got donuts on the board through one complete. It's Lynchburg, Shenandoah, Super Regional action from Bank of the James Stadium in the Hill City.
A single thread is unique. Like each of us, full of purpose and potential. A strand designed to connect, strengthen, and unite. But we face different challenges and have different opportunities. By acknowledging that others may struggle in ways we do not, we can celebrate our differences, embrace each other, and fortify the ties among us. A single thread can fray, yet when it's woven with another, a bond forms. A new strength created by the fabric of the whole. Let's embrace the fabric we make together, the diversity of our threads, to reach beyond ourselves and overcome the impossible. The true power of our game comes from unifying our individual backgrounds, connecting our unique stories, enabling us to be stronger, braver, greater. We can achieve so much more when we are all as one.
What a season. The confetti is going to fall.
There she goes, and she's got it.
How sweet is this, and how wonderful for the sport.
Here's the good play by Ben Jones to get the second out of the inning for Lynchburg. And this is Eric Hyatt leading off, hacking at the first pitch, and he's got Lynchburg's first hit of the ball game. Eric Hyatt has been on a real heater in the postseason. Coming into the game, Eric Hyatt was hitting .421 in postseason play. That includes .500 in the Rocky Mount Regional. 8 for 16 down there, so bump him up to 9 for 17 in his last 5 games, basically. It's Gavin Collins, the third baseman now, hitting with a man on first. So one pitch, one swing, and the first base hit of the ball game for Lynchburg and Eric Hyatt. Good take there by Gavin Collins. Ball one on an off-speed offering from Jacob Favor, who seemed like he missed the zone a bit. I mean, after all, fans, he threw 5 straight balls to begin the game, but Favor is one of those polished arms, not going to be easily rattled regardless of situation or setting. We are in the minor league ballpark. Sometimes that can play tricks with you a bit as a player, but I don't think Favor is having any problems here. He's got a 2-0 count on Gavin Collins. Now it's 3-0. So maybe I need to amend what I'm saying just as quickly as I'm saying it. I think Jacob Favor would like to be throwing more strikes. Gavin Collins with a 3-0 count. Green light, maybe. Gavin Collins has certainly got power. He has homered a few times in the postseason. 3 postseason home runs for Gavin Collins. And that is ball 4. 4 straight. Much more competitive pitch there from Favor than the one before. It is the second free pass that he has issued. Jackson Harding, the right fielder, will step up. Very capable bunter is Jackson Harding. And it feels like that typical sacrifice bunt situation here with runners on first and second and nobody out. We're in the top of the first inning. Jackson Harding hitting 7th for Lynchburg. And back to Jacob Favor, I don't know that the moment, pressure of the moment, or the setting is what's causing him to have some control issues. As a pitcher, sometimes that just happens. But Favor normally control very, very good. On the season, he has struck out 92 and only walked 41. That was coming into the game, so he's up to 93 punch-outs and 43 walks. Bunt shown by Jackson Harding. It is a doozy. Over to Ryan Clausen. He fields, low throw, dug out of there by the second baseman, Kyle Lisa, who was covering. So a successful sacrifice bunt executed by Jackson Harding. Good defensive work from the claw, Ryan Clausen, to get the first out of the inning. Holden Fiedler, the 8-hole hitter and catcher for Lynchburg, making his way to the dish. He is a grad student. He is second all-time in Lynchburg history in games played with 173. The guy batting behind him, Carson Atkins, he's the all-time leader in university history in games played. Those guys have put on that Lynchburg Hornet uniform a bunch. Fiedler's going to watch the first pitch come in, breaking ball down in the dirt. Another nice stop from Blittersdorf. He's doing an excellent job getting down, keeping the chin down, smothering that ball. Got that nice angle where he keeps the chest really at like a 45-degree angle, so the ball just bounces straight down after it hits the protector. Fiedler swinging on that one. Clausen grabbed it, looked at home, but couldn't quite get the feet set. Now there's a play at third, and the ball has gotten thrown away. A defensive miscue by Shenandoah is going to allow an extra Lynchburg run to come in. That was Gavin Collins that scored the second one. Eric Hyatt broke on contact and scored the first one. Clausen took a long look, but couldn't quite turn the body to make a play at home. Holden Fiedler is out at first base. It is a ground out that will score 2 for Holden Fiedler. So in the books, it looks just like 5-3, but it's so much more than that. It's going to end up being an error on Shenandoah to allow the second run in. Saw some of this in the ODAC tournament between these two ball clubs where the Shenandoah defense, which is normally rock solid, normally ironclad, they got a little bit loose at times. Shenandoah went into that conference tournament with, I believe it was the 6th best fielding percentage in the country. It was over 975. But sometimes pressure will do that. And again, I'm not necessarily saying it was the pressure of the moment that caused it there, but you have to ask the question. It's worth asking the question. Sometimes errors happen. 0-2 count on Carson Atkins. Check swing, nasty pitch. They will say he did not go. This game of baseball is so tricky because it's hard to attribute a blame or a cause and effect all the time. Guys just make errors sometimes. Everybody that's played this game has made a bad throw, but you do have to wonder how much the pressure matters. There's a fastball upstairs that Carson Atkins can't get on top of, and it is strike 3, a successful inning for Lynchburg. They scored 2 runs on 1 hit. None left on for the Lynchburg Hornets, and they're on top 2-0. Shenandoah looking for the response. 5, 6, 7 coming up, including Ryan Clausen, who will bat second for Shenandoah. We got a chance to talk to the Claw yesterday, and you get to hear it right now on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. All right, it's Kyle Haney. We're back with Ryan Clausen from Shenandoah University here. The Claw. I got to ask you, Ryan, some folks may not know, but you played at Hampton-Sydney before. I know you enjoyed your time there. You come to Shenandoah. Tell us what's different. I mean, what stands out about this program? I'm sure there were some things even you didn't realize until you got here.
Yeah, that's a tough question for sure because there are a lot of similarities between the programs. I don't even want to touch on differences. I'd rather just shout out the guys for really taking me in. I came in here not knowing anybody, and they actually elected me captain in the fall, and it just shows that these guys weren't timid to accept me, take me in as captain, and really just treated me like family. So I just really want to shout out the guys and rather than talk about differences.
Well, this guy's played in 200-plus career college baseball games now. Last weekend, that run in the regionals, that's got to rank up there, those 4 games, right?
Yeah, unlike Frankie, that was actually my first time of getting punched in the mouth and then having to win 4 straight. I, again, give the credit to the guys because we really just took it inning by inning and didn't get ahead of ourselves with each game. We just reset and set on the next team.
Give us a couple keys for this weekend. I mean, it may be cliches, the usual, got to pitch it, got to glove it, hit it, but great stuff there from Ryan Clausen. He was a guy that we really enjoyed watching just from an outsider's perspective. Then when you meet him, he endears himself so much more to you. It's always fun when that happens and always fun to dig deep and get into the guy's personality a little bit. Maybe that's not digging deep, but the stats are great in baseball. There's always going to be a stat or a number, but it's nice when you can get into the personality and some of that stuff between the lines and outside of the lines. Here's a ground ball from Pierce Booker, gobbled up by Brandon Garcia. Strong throw across for the first out of the inning. Here comes that guy, Ryan Clausen. Yeah, you get to learn more about the players and what they're all about. It's so much fun. I think it's a great part of our game and a great opportunity for us this super regional to peel the cover back and get some layers here and talk about some of these wonderful student athletes, guys that have been around for a while like Ryan Clausen. He's been at this almost 6 years, more than 6 seasons, actually, for Ryan Clausen. Yeah, bangs the top of the head. Shenandoah needed that. First pitch swinging there. Interesting, that's Shenandoah's second hit. Frankie Ritter got his early in the count. Eric Hyatt got a hit early in the count for Lynchburg on the first pitch. So keep an eye on that theme. You get each team's quote-unquote ace. You get a quality arm from each team. You know they're going to be around the zone. These pitchers, Favor and Potts, don't like walking people. So it makes sense to have that as your battle plan offensively going in there. Hey, I'm hunting fastball. First pitch, if he throws something, I'm going to go after it. Don't wait around. Might be the best pitch you see. Cue ball to Ben Jones. He's only going to be able to get one, but it is a soft toss to first base to get Hayden Madigan out. On the fielder's choice there. Or actually, it's just a 4-3 put out in the books. But anyway, and there's 2 outs. Ryan Clausen moves up to second. It's the second time Shenandoah has got a runner in scoring position. They trail 2-0. In the bottom of the second inning, it is best 2 out of 3 here in Super Regional play, meaning the first team to win 2 games will advance. You talk to everybody, ask them what their thoughts are on the series and the preview and all that. It seems like 99% of them say it's going to take 3 games. You just talk to people that know baseball and that have been watching these 2 teams, they think it's going to take all 3 games. You got a few people that are the diehard fans that say, yeah, my team's going to win by double-digit runs each game. And you never know. That could happen too, just because this game, it's always something unique. But everybody feels like this is going to be blow for blow, a heavyweight matchup that comes down to the final rounds. And there's just not a lot of separation between these 2 ball clubs. The hitter is Kyle Lisa. He is the second baseman from Cedar Knolls, New Jersey. Another 5th-year guy. Shenandoah's got some experience. Lynchburg's got quite a few 4th and 5th years. The Shenandoah team is similar. 0-2 count. Zach Potts, good nibble right there. Excellent take by Kyle Lisa to not offer at that one. That was very close. Hard to even know the zone completely at this point, so give Kyle Lisa an extra nod there for laying off that nasty pitch. See what Potts comes back with. 1-2. Set, ready, delivers. Kind of a check swing blooper. Tough play, but Ben Jones will slide down to one knee to take it out of the sky for Lynchburg. 1 runner on. That was the 1 hit from Ryan Clausen, but he is left stranded in scoring position. And through 1.5, Lynchburg still leads 2-0 at Bank of the James Stadium in the Hill City.
To them, the whole world looks like an opportunity, one to be seized, built upon, and made better for their sport and the people around it. To student athletes, every opportunity is a chance to change what could be and show the world what opportunity can do.
Welcome, baseball fans. We're coming to you live from Bank of the James Stadium in the Hill City of Lynchburg. I'm calling it the Thrill City, and I called this guy.
And be the best athlete I can be, but also the best student I can be. My coaches always made sure that the student comes first, because not everyone's going to become a professional athlete. So they make sure that we will do great in academics. I knew that would only open the door to my future, and I'm really excited to start my dream program for physical therapy.
What a time to be a baseball fan. I mean, all the options we've got in 2023 with the online viewing. You can plug in with the social media. These 2 schools do a great job with the social media, keeping the fans informed and entertained. And it's playoff time for the high schools as well. I know we got a bunch of high school coaches tuned in. All these players have got high school coaches to thank for their career growth. And I got to say hello to my good buddy Dave Brown and Chris Carr. They're getting ready for some high school baseball tonight locally here in Central Virginia. There's some baseball fans that are taking it in person. Oh, I'm going to buzz the tower there on Brandon Garcia, and it's a 2-0 count. So more times we have to mention that Jacob Favor is falling behind some of these Lynchburg hitters. Normally very good control from Jacob Favor. But also worth noting that Lynchburg as a team, they really use the patient approach. They take a lot of walks. Lynchburg has walked 264 times this season coming into the game. 5.5 times per game. 5.5 on the nose per game that Lynchburg draws the base on balls. That is a very big part of their offensive game plan. It's not flashy. It's not sexy. Nobody says I want to lead the country in walks. But when you have guys like Avery Neves, who did just that last year as an individual, he was the D3 leader in walks last season. And then you have other guys that understand how to hit. They understand the zone, the pitch recognition. Well, those walks, they really rack up. You could hear that one bopping off of our crowd mic down there on the foul tip for Brandon Garcia. Lynchburg 2 years ago, back in 2021, as a team, they led the nation in walks. Last season, they walked 294 times. Full count to Garcia. He fights that one off. And that's another piece of taking a lot of walks. You do have to foul off some two-strike pitches. Call it a spoil, call it staying alive, call it whatever you want. But if you're going to draw a lot of walks like Lynchburg does, you have to foul off some two-strike deliveries, make that pitcher work a bit more. Favors working right now from the windup. Kicks, and there's a fastball upstairs that would have been ball 4, but Brandon Garcia couldn't lay off. Strikeout number 3 of the game for Jacob Favor. Ben Jones, one of those strikeout victims in his first at bat. He steps up there. The freshman entering the game was hitting .310, slugging over .600. He's driven in 35, and the power numbers through the roof. Jones looked like he was maybe trying to hit one through the roof on that one, and he fouled it straight back for strike 1. So there's a good adjustment by Favor, getting ahead. And that's not always easy to come after those power hitters first pitch. It can be a little unsettling when you see a guy take a rip like that. But it's no balls and 1 strike. There's another one that out of the hand just wasn't competitive. Jones doesn't have to take a long look at that one because he knows it's not going to be anywhere close to the hitting zone. See if Favor can make an adjustment. Nice low target from Blittersdorf. 1 knee down. That was a better pitch. That wasn't like the previous one. That one, I think Jones at least had to watch all the way in, but doesn't have to take the bat off his shoulder, and it's a 2-1 count. Infield normal depth except for Ryan Clausen at third. He's even with the bag. Another big hack from Ben Jones. Outfield is basically straight away at normal depth. A lot of teams play Ben Jones deeper because of those power numbers. Shenandoah just pretty much straight away and medium deep. Away target for Favor, just off the edge. Strike zone awareness, plate awareness from Ben Jones on display. Back to that being patient, taking walks. Full count coming up. Jacob Favor to Ben Jones. Favor out of the windup, twirls, and he's ready. Oh, and it's a strikeout inside corner. First punch out looking for Jacob Favor. Ben Jones doesn't agree, but unfortunately he'll have to walk back to the dugout. His team has 2 outs in the top of the 3rd inning. Avery Neves flew out to right in his first at bat. I gave Kyle Lisa great props for a nice take in his at bat because you don't necessarily know the zone yet. And that might have been the case there for Ben Jones. Now you know, hey, the umpire's calling that inside strike. He's giving them that at the belt line or at the thigh height. Neves twitched the hip but didn't fire the bat, and it's a ball, 2-0 count. Another hitter that Favor has fallen behind. That's that shared awareness that great teams have as well. The hitters will talk about what they saw in their at bat from the pitcher and also the umpire. That's one place where your catcher can help out as well. Tyler Blittersdorf in the case for Shenandoah, and Holden Fiedler for Lynchburg. They can come in and say, hey, umpire's calling this. He's given this, he's not given that, so on and so forth. Hitters count for Avery Neves. 3 balls, 1 strike. There's 2 outs in the top of the 3rd inning. What a shot right there. That is a lot of fun right there. Good angle to see Neves, the catcher, and the umpire. Neves, another one, sniffed it, but didn't bite, and it's a walk. 3rd free pass that Jacob Favor has issued. Mentioned in 2 previous contests against Lynchburg. Lynchburg had a pretty good batting average against him, over .360. He'd given up some runs, But control, not really the issue. In 2 previous starts against Lynchburg, Favor had struck out 11 and only walked 2. So he's already gone over that. He's walked 3 in this game. Fastball, outer edge for a strike against Riley O'Donovan. Riley O'Donovan, a strikeout victim in his first at bat. Neves is a threat to run. He leads Lynchburg in stolen bases. Lynchburg does not run as much as a team compared to Shenandoah. Mentioned the number. Shenandoah's got 115 stolen bases. Lynchburg enters, or now after a Brandon Garcia stolen base, Lynchburg is up to 67 as a team. So not quite double for Shenandoah, but closing in on it. Head first slide back is Avery Neves safely. No balls and 2 strikes on Riley O'Donovan. 2 outs. Not a bad count to run. Some coaches more apt to send a guy with 2 strikes. Let's see if Neves takes off. He will run. Breaking ball in the dirt. Not going to be a throw from Blittersdorf, and that is a stolen base for Avery Neves. Should be the second one of the game for Lynchburg. In scoring position now for Riley O'Donovan, who really has a knack for driving in runs. Riley O'Donovan has started 32 games for Lynchburg, so basically 2/3 of the season. He's driven in 23. Here's the pitch from Favor. O'Donovan swing and miss. Nothing but air there, and it's a big punch out for Favor to leave Neves stranded in scoring position through 2.5. Lynchburg on top 2-0 in Super Regional action. We're bringing it to you live on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network.
NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org.
When you come to the University of Lynchburg to earn a master's degree in athletic training, you'll spend time in the classroom, but you'll also spend a lot of time in our top-notch facilities, learning from athletic trainers and working closely with our student athletes. In the Graduate Cadaver Lab, you'll learn about the human body in the best way possible, by actually studying the human body. This will provide a foundation to make you a much better athletic trainer. In the athletic training laboratory, you'll get hands-on experience practicing.
Jacob Favors got 5 strikeouts for Shenandoah, keeping his team in striking distance. Lynchburg scored their 2 runs in the top of the second. That was on 1 hit. There was a Shenandoah error in there. This is the 3rd trip to the plate for Shenandoah. They'll send their 9-hole man, Cooper Anderson, who is Coach Kevin Anderson's son. Talked about his elite defense. Man, he wowed us in Richmond at the ODAC tournament with some of the things that he was doing. Defensively all the way around with these 2 ball clubs. Not a lot of soft spots. I know we've seen an error and a few other little things maybe you could call a misplay or should have had that kind of a ball, but these 2 teams really glove it. They move well. They really understand defense, and they take a lot of pride in being good defensively as well, so that helps too. 2-1 count. Zach Potts dealing to Cooper Anderson. Flare to the right side. That is down. Got by the diving Eric Hyatt. Anderson's going to turn for second. He's going to get there standing up. Helmet comes off. Leadoff double for Cooper Anderson. Maybe not the hardest double he's ever hit in his life, but it doesn't matter. It's hit number 3 for Shenandoah. It's the 3rd base runner they've gotten into scoring position. 1 in each inning. Hyatt laid out for it nicely, but couldn't get the big first baseman's mitt to it. That was Jackson Harding that came on, had to wait and play it off the carom. And with a guy with the speed that Cooper Anderson possesses, there was not going to be a play at second base. Frankie Ritter is 1 for 1 in this game. The danger is real here for Lynchburg. They hold a 2-0 lead. Lynchburg infield maybe thinking bunt. It was a slider, I believe, that missed from Zach Potts. 1-0 count. to Frankie Ritter. Stevens City, Virginia, pretty close to Winchester. So the interesting thing about this Shenandoah team, you look at their roster construction, they've got quite a few local guys. And I guess we got to call the man at second, Cooper Anderson, local. Oh, that one Ritter had to take evasive action on. And all of a sudden it's a 2-ball, no-strike start for Zach Potts. Potts seems to be one of those classic cases where he almost pitches better from the stretch. He's fine from the windup. He's very good from the windup. He's not just fine. But really, when runners get on, Zach Potts seems to really buckle down and dig in. There's a slider that Ritter thought was going to hit him again, but comes across for a strike. So that's a good pitching plan if you can do it. You miss inside. You got the batter a little antsy. You've got him dancing a bit in the box. You come back in with a breaking ball that starts at his front shoulder or front elbow, and he has to dodge out of the way again, and it ends up being a strike. There's a spin and throw from Zach Potts. Bounced into the breadbasket of Ben Jones, but everything's fine for Lynchburg defensively. Do need to take some time to talk about what Zach Potts did in regional play down in Rocky Mount last weekend. It was special stuff that I think Lynchburg fans are going to remember for a long time. But our attention is on Frankie Ritter. There's a base hit bunt attempt. Might have got him on the finger as he sort of ejected the bat on contact. I don't know if maybe he had a loose grip going on the bunt attempt to try to deaden the ball. Sometimes the old school coaches would talk about that on the bunt. Try to keep the bat nice and loose, and when the ball hits, it'll just kind of pop the bat out of your hands a little bit. Could have been what happened there. I think that tailing action on the two-seamer, though, got into the body, almost on the knuckles of Frankie Ritter. 2-2 pitch, nobody out. Ritter swings on this one, jammed, and it ends up in catching distance for Gavin Collins after a few steps to his left. So it's the first out of the inning. Colby Martin is up. Zach Potts had an incredible weekend in regional play. So did Colby Martin. 15 for 24, drove in 7. That was in 5 region games up in Winchester last weekend. Colby Martin is the former Old Dominion Athletic Conference Player of the Year back in 2021. Martin was injured basically all of last season, but he is back. He's making up for lost time, at least in postseason play anyway. You go back to all of the postseason, which is last weekend, the ODAC championship weekend, and then 2 ODAC tournament opening weekend games against Guilford. And Colby Martin is hitting .471. He'll ground out to Brandon Garcia on the first pitch there. So Lynchburg doing a nice job keeping Colby Martin off the base paths. And there's 2 outs. Gavin Horning, the right fielder, grounded out to second base in his first at bat. Gavin Horning is another guy that we caught up with yesterday. Some technical issues prevented us from making the Horning interview work. So we're going to try to catch up with him after the game. We really want you to hear from Gavin Horning. He's having an outstanding season. Comes into the weekend hitting .414. Power numbers are through the roof for Gavin Horning. 17 doubles, 7 triples, 7 homers. It's nuts. He's slugging almost 700. 0-1 count. Zach Potts gets across for a strike. Runner on second is Cooper Anderson. Leadoff double, but unable to get any further in the next 2 batters. 1-1. Zach Potts looking in for the sign from Holden Fiedler. Multiple signals going on with the runner on second. Outfield is slightly deeper and shaded slightly to pull on Gavin Horning. There's a fastball that just missed. Great location for Zach Potts. Not going to get hurt there as a pitcher. And sometimes the umpire is going to give you that call. It was just off the plate. It was in between home plate and the batter's box line. There's just not much a hitter can do with that. 2-1 count, 2 outs. There's another one. That one was lower, out of the zone for a ball. 3-1's the count. Do have first base open, so that could be part of the calculus here for Lynchburg as they're calling their pitches. I already mentioned associate head coach Travis Beasley. Don't forget about Michael Solbach, who does so much with the pitchers. Very important part of that Lynchburg coaching staff, those 2 guys. 3-1 delivery. Nice nibble there, but it is off the plate. And without being inside Zach Potts' head, it's hard to know if that was the plan hey, let's throw it right here 4 or 5 times. If he swings, great. If he doesn't, we'll give him the free pass. Or if Potts didn't want to let Gavin Horning go. It is the first walk that Potts has issued. And talk about control. It's worth mentioning Zach Potts' numbers in that regard. His K to walk ratio is exactly what you want. 85 strikeouts to only 23 walks. That's on the season for Zach Potts. He pitches to contact. He throws multiple pitches for a strike in any count. And he doesn't like to walk people either. Part of it's that mentality, right? He wants you to swing the bat. Foul ball from Tyler Blittersdorf, who was swinging the bat. Another hack from Blittersdorf. He wants it early. He was hacking in his first at bat pretty early. But now the catcher from Oxford, Pennsylvania is behind 0-2 in the count. Infield back, first baseman Eric Hyatt, very deep behind Gavin Horning, who leads off at first. Cooper Anderson, the runner, at second for Shenandoah. 0-2 coming up. Fiedler slides out. Blittersdorf got to it, sprays it in the left field. Neves on the run. He's not going to get there, and it's a fair ball. It's a fair ball. 1 run is in. Brandon Garcia will throw behind Horning at third, but Horning is safe. That ball must have just been on the line down there in left field. 0-2 pitch. And, of course, all the pitching people will say you should never give up an 0-2 hit, and this was a double in Blittersdorf's case. He kind of just threw the bat out there at it, but really sent it pretty deep. It's 325 down to the left corner here at Bank of the James Stadium in Lynchburg. That ball went at least 300 feet and just stayed fair. Great stuff by Tyler Blittersdorf. It's an RBI double. Shenandoah is on the board. Credit Lynchburg defensively for hustling that ball in and keeping the speedy Gavin Horning at third base. 2 outs, so Horning obviously didn't have to wait and see if it was caught. He was on the move on contact. So that goes to show how quickly Avery Neves got to it in left field, then got it in on the relay. Brandon Garcia actually tried to pick Gavin Horning at third as Horning took a bit of a turn around the third sack there, but had to stay put. Runners at second and third now for Pierce Booker. First baseman grounded out to first in his first at bat. Pierce Booker hitting .217 in postseason play. Great shot at that. Neves maybe got a little bit lucky there because the rebound off the wall really came straight to him. And we got to give Avery Neves some credit for that as well, for reading that, seeing where that ball would come down. Check swing appeal down to first is a strike. Count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 outs in the bottom of the third. Shenandoah is on the board. Shutout is gone for Zach Potts. But he looks to minimize the damage here with 2 outs. Booker, foul ball into Fiedler's body, and now it's a 1-2 count. 10 hits in postseason play for Pierce Booker. He had 4 hits in the 5-game regional, where Shenandoah lost day 1. Not a great loss either. They got thumped 22-9 by TCNJ, but bounced back, won 4 games in 2 days, and beat everybody else in the tournament. Shenandoah took down Immaculata 11-7. They revenged and beat TCNJ 8-1. And then on the final day, 2 wins against the captains of Christopher Newport, 14-5 and 5-3 for Shenandoah to get to this point. 1-2 delivery coming up from Zach Potts. Off the plate for ball 2. Deuce is Wild on the board in a 2-1 ball game. We're in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Another Stevens City guy, Pierce Booker. Same high school as Frankie Ritter, the shortstop for Shenandoah. Zach Potts set under the chin, ready to go. Fires it in there. Soft contact. Garcia on the run. Scoop field. Throws to Hyatt at first, who gets him on the tag. Nice work defensively there for Eric Hyatt and the Lynchburg infield. Shenandoah does scratch 1 across. RBI double from Tyler Blittersdorf, but Lynchburg avoiding further damage. 2 stranded in scoring position through 3 complete here at Bank of the James Stadium. It's a 2-1 Lynchburg lead in Super Regional play. Well, they call it the Hill City because there's 7 famous old-school hills in Lynchburg, but you were getting a shot at some of the surrounding mountains out here in central Virginia. We're kind of in the foothills of the Blue Ridge. And fans of these two teams, I probably don't need to give any geography lessons to you all. It's probably the people we've got watching nationally and globally. A lot of folks are switched on and ready for this one. Super regional play between two teams that have been ranked in the top 25 all season, and both teams have spent a lot of time in the top 10 this year as well. These two programs are as good as it gets. Lynchburg was the ODAC champs this year, regular season and conference tournament champions. Shenandoah last year, Lynchburg in 2021. These two teams met 5 times in 2021, including a 2 out of 3 to determine the conference champion. It was a thrilling walk-off victory for Lynchburg a couple years ago. Eric Hyatt going to bang one to the left side. Clausen bobbled, and the throw is not in time or on target. We'll wait for the official ruling on that one, hit or error. The fact that it hit Clausen's glove, I think, is probably going to make us lean towards error on that one. And unfortunately for Shenandoah, the leadoff man is on board again. That is Eric Hyatt's second time being on the bases. Lynchburg's had the leadoff man on now in 3 of 4 innings. This is the top of the 4th. Ball upstairs to Gavin Collins. 1-0 the count. Collins walked in his first plate appearance, so he's still got the 0 for 0 line. Eric Hyatt leads off at first. Pitcher is still Jacob Favor. Collins took a good rip at that one. Comes up empty. Gavin Collins in the postseason, just 8 hits, but they've all been big ones. They've all come at big moments or gone a long way. Gavin Collins has got 3 hits in postseason play. 1 in Rocky Mount, 1 in Richmond at the ODAC Championship weekend, and then 1 homer for Gavin Collins at Fox Field just down the street against Bridgewater in the ODAC opening weekend play. Gavin Collins also in postseason ball has snuck in a double and a triple as well. The on-base percentage right around 400. The average doesn't look so great for Gavin Collins, but he's taken a lot of walks. He did that earlier in this game. He's faced with a 1-2 count right now. Long hold from Favor, couple nods of the head. Now there's a breaking ball that misses up top, and the count is now even up at 2-2. Signals getting flashed from the third base coach's box by Lucas Jones. Lynchburg uses one of those numbering systems. It's just a wristband with a chart, a spreadsheet on it. You hear the numbers, you scroll down and see what the play is, and of course there's some dummy calls in there, some decoys where he's going to yell out a number and it's nothing. It's just hit away. It's just play baseball. And you got to yell out a few of those as well, just like the old school on the body sign systems. They're always fun to watch coaches do. There's a good shot at Lucas Jones, Lynchburg native, Heritage High School. Favor got Collins swinging. Big punch out there from Jacob Favor. First out of the inning. Strikeout number 6 for Favor. He's got it going. I said maybe some control issues. I mean, Jacob Favor has walked 3, but perhaps it falls into the effectively wild category. Perhaps he's missed the zone enough, whether it's intentionally or unintentionally, that Lynchburg hitters back on their heels a little bit, slightly off balance. Here's Jackson Harding. Sacrifice bunt in his first at bat. Very well placed. Put it right on the third base line, right on the edge of the grass, which we do have the dirt base paths here at Bank of the James Stadium. So if it gets to the dirt, a lot of times it will then roll foul. You kind of want to keep that bunt right on the edge of the grass line. Breaking ball down, stopped by Blittersdorf again, is successful. He's having to work hard back there with the gear. Jackson Harding with a good eyeball, 1-1 count coming up for the key man from Keysville, Virginia. I call him a Central Virginia native. Again, not to talk about the geography too much. Fastball off the plate to Jackson Harding. Jacob Favor is a Chesapeake, Virginia native. And really just an outstanding season for Shenandoah this year. Working hard in Super Regional play against Lynchburg and Jackson Harding. 2-1 count. Hyatt bounces off at first. There's a pitch that does just catch the outer black for strike 2. 2-2 the count with 1 out. Jackson Harding hitting .326 coming into this game. He has walked 24 times and only struck out 16. Foul ball to avoid strikeout number 17 on the season. Only played in 8 games last season, hit .300 in those 8 games. He's another fifth-year guy for Lynchburg. Been around, putting in the hard work. He's had to stay patient. He's had some seasons where he hasn't played or had the amount of at-bats that he would have wanted. But he's a fixture in the starting lineup now. Swinging it, playing a great right field. There's a fastball that was way out of the zone. So there's effectively wild, like I was talking about, and then there's a miss. And I think most pitchers would tell you that one from Favor was probably a miss. He wasn't intentionally trying to go that up and out, especially in a 2-2 count. Now the count is full with 1 out. See if Hyatt's on the move. He does take off. Ball 4. So that is walk number 4 that Jacob Favor has issued. Back to that ongoing debate that I've kind of been having out loud with you baseball fans. There's trying to throw some balls off the plate intentionally to make a Lynchburg team be less aggressive, and then there's just not being able to find it sometimes. This has got Coach Kevin Anderson's attention. There is activity in the Shenandoah bullpen. Don't see anybody really getting hot or cranked up, but you got a couple pitchers moving around playing catch. There's another look at Eric Hyatt, that ball that hit off the glove of Ryan Clausen. I believe they called that a hit for Lynchburg. And it is 2 hits for Eric Hyatt. He's got both the singles for Lynchburg. So Hyatt's heater continues. That just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Eric Hyatt was hitting .500 in regional play. That's 8 for 16 in those 4 ball games down in Rocky Mount. And in the postseason so far, Eric Hyatt came into the game at .421. He's got 16 postseason hits. And another great thing about these 2 schools, Shenandoah and Lynchburg, is they do such an outstanding job of updating all those stats that you can really follow along with all the statistical stuff online on each team's website. And I think it's another great piece about being a fan in 2023. You got all the information at your fingertips if you're a stat guy or gal, if you like enjoying the game that way. And if you don't care about the numbers, then you just enjoy the great visuals you're getting here from LHSN. Got a great crowd shot. Got to say hello to a few more folks, but this is pressure time right now. Holden Fiedler will hack at the first one. It's in foul territory. Long run for Blittersdorf. The catcher, he slides and comes up empty. Got the big warning track here at Bank of the James Stadium. Again, if you don't know, it is a minor league park, home to the Lynchburg Hillcats. Central Virginia natives have probably all seen multiple Lynchburg Hillcats games. And back to the history of this stadium, there have been some really great ones that have played here. I mentioned Joe DiMaggio drove in the first runs in this stadium. Guys like Darryl Strawberry, Doc Gooden when Lynchburg was a Mets affiliate back in the day. Trot Nixon. Bunch of players in the big leagues right now. Spent some time here in Lynchburg. 0-1 count. Favor breaking ball down to Holden Fiedler. Doesn't swing the bat. That's a miss from Favor that to me is better. That's more what he wants. It's a curveball that starts at the knees. You're hoping Holden Fiedler chases. And when he doesn't, you just move on, and it's a 1-1 count. That's good pitching right there from Favor. Maybe he goes back to the curve right here. Got a feel for it? Might not be a bad idea. He did go back to it and got by Blittersdorf. Blittersdorf had been rock solid back there up to this point, but unfortunately that one is going to allow 90 extra feet for Lynchburg base runners Eric Hyatt and Jackson Harding. Hyatt at third, Harding at second. Another one to file away as far as defensive miscues or less than ideal situations for Shenandoah. They have made an error in this game that allowed a run to score. 2-1 count. Lynchburg leads 2-1. Fiedler looking for more. Swings on it. Ball to third base, and Clausen can't come up with that one. Just kind of hit the heel and rolled up the forearm. A run will score. 3-1 ball game. Holden Fiedler probably didn't get as much of that as he wanted, but there's something to be said for pressuring a defense, make them make some plays, force them into action in pressure situations. And unfortunately for Shenandoah, Clausen can't come up with it. He's had 2 in this inning that he's gotten either the leather on or his body on. Not exactly sure where that one hit him, but it's a run. And the threat continues for Lynchburg. Carson Atkins can really do damage. He can really make you look bad. He's going to try to bunt right here. Pushes it to first. Run will score. Close play at first. And Atkins beat it. He stumbles across the bag. Oh no, Carson Atkins is getting up slow. The run came in. That was Jackson Harding that scored. Good sportsmanship on display there as the second baseman Kyle Lisa came over and gave Carson Atkins a little 5 there and maybe a my bad, hey, are you okay, that kind of thing. That's what you like to see. Super regional play, tensions are probably through the roof. These teams have been rivals in the last few seasons. They've met 4 times already this year. That was nice to see from Kyle Lisa and Carson Atkins right there. And a good time to point out, we do have the bigger bases here. It is an asterisk to the rule book that you can use the bigger bases in the super regional play at this game at Bank of the James Stadium. Nice head-first slide from Jackson Harding. He's pumped. Yeah, dugout got the full volume going. Why wouldn't they? Lynchburg leading 4-1. 2 runs in the second, 2 more here in the fourth, and they're looking for more with the leadoff man. You wonder about Favor now. Pitch count's starting to become something to think about. That was a bunt single for Carson Atkins, by the way. It's Lynchburg's 3rd hit of the game, depending on how you score the one from Holden Fiedler. 1-0 count on Brandon Garcia. Leadoff man is 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout. How huge would a double play be here for Shenandoah? These 2 teams turn a lot of double plays. Lynchburg leads the country in double plays at 45. Shenandoah's got 44. They're 2nd in the country right now in double plays. I said both these teams glove it. It wasn't just a half-hearted compliment. The numbers back up what these 2 teams do defensively. But right now for Shenandoah, some plays I think they would like to have back. Some plays they probably normally make. Pressure will do that to you. Big moments will do that. 2-1 count for Brandon Garcia. Freshman left-handed hitting shortstop from Durham, North Carolina. Facing Favor, Jacob Favor. Jacob Bell is one of the other great starters for Shenandoah. We thought we might see him start perhaps tomorrow, or maybe an option out of the bullpen for Shenandoah. Kevin Anderson, he likes to play those cards close to the vest. He's not going to give out his starting rotation. 3-1 count for Brandon Garcia. See if he goes all in on one. Ball 4. Walk number 5 for Jacob Favor. Not the control that he is used to. Not the control that Coach Kevin Anderson is used to from Jacob Favor. Got to think about the long-term plan. You know you have at least 2 games. And you think, well, realistically, we might be facing a 3rd game. So I think maybe you give him a little longer leash than normal. I think Jacob Favor's leash is normally pretty long because of how good he is. Breaking ball in the dirt. Nice hold from Ben Jones. Did not offer it that one. Bases are loaded. Sacks are packed here in the Hill City. Ducks on the pond. Snakes on the lake for Ben Jones, who has come up big in some key moments for Lynchburg. Another one right here where he could take the door off the hinges. Ball 2. You feel that energy coming alive for Lynchburg. They've already scored 2 in this 4th inning. They lead 4-1. Ben Jones, just a freshman, but this is a guy that can really put some distance between you and an opponent. Twitched at that one, but did not pull the trigger. The count is 3-0. I think typical thought would be take sign on here. Favors walked 2 in the inning. He walked Brandon Garcia, the previous batter. But with Ben Jones' power, Coach Lucas Jones might turn him loose. Here's the pitch from Favor. Strike 1. Jones thought it was a ball, but it is a 3-1 count. Still a good hitter's count for Benny Bombs. No relation to head coach Lucas Jones, who's probably giving him the green light now. I think he's definitely given Ben Jones the green light here. Corners are in for Shenandoah. Middle double play depth. Here's a pitch from Favor. Nowhere close. It's back-to-back walks for Jacob Favor. 6 free passes he has issued. And, yeah, here comes Coach Kevin Anderson. And unfortunately for Jacob Favor, his afternoon is going to be coming to a close. It's early doors for Jacob Favor. Going to have to hand the ball off to a teammate and hope they can keep Lynchburg within striking distance. It's an RBI, bases loaded walk for Ben Jones. Lynchburg leading 5-1. We'll get you the new arm in just a moment here on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. There's the new arm for the Shenandoah Hornets. It's number 71, Jackson Sherman, in out of the bullpen. The numbers, 4.15 earned run average. This is appearance number 5 for Jackson Sherman. He is 1-0 on the season. Just 8 2/3 innings of work. And you talk about out of the frying pan into the fire right here for a young guy with not a big resume to draw on. He is facing Avery Neves with the bases loaded. 1 out in the top of the 4th. Lynchburg leading 5-1. And if you're Neves, you are thinking bust the door right off the hinges. Knock the whole house down if you can. And you're looking for something elevated, something you can elevate in the outfield for a sac fly, double, or a home run. Nice spot there from Sherman, but that's a miss. And it's a 2-0 count. Avery Neves is the career home run leader at Lynchburg. 2nd all-time in runs batted in. He's been in this spot before. He understands the assignment. Sherman missed the zone there. We'll work on the official line for Jacob Favor here in a moment. I thought he started strong. Struck out 6, but too many walks, too many base hits, and defense, you could argue, maybe didn't do Jacob Favor any favors. Pardon the pun. Really didn't even know I was going to do that before the sentence started, but it just worked out, I guess. 3-1 count here for Avery Neves. Jackson Sherman, right-hander, looks in. Now he's set. The pitch, ball 4. 3 straight walks for Lynchburg. This is part of their game. If you have never seen Lynchburg play, they take a lot of walks. They average 5.5 walks per game, and they've got 7 already in this one. We're in the top of the 4th inning, fans. 3 straight walks for Lynchburg. They do not offer at a lot of bad pitches. They understand pitch recognition out of the pitcher's hand. They're getting a good read on it. We will get a pinch hitter. This is Sean Pokerock. He'll bat in Riley O'Donovan's spot. O'Donovan was 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Might be part of the change here for Coach Lucas Jones. First pitch coming up. Base is still loaded. Corners are still in for Shenandoah. Middle double play depth. But back to Lynchburg hitting-wise. They see it well out of the pitcher's hand. They work on pitch recognition. They understand the strike zone. They understand their hitting zone as far as what to offer at in certain counts. And Coach Jones doesn't handcuff these guys. That's not why they're patient. They're not up there intentionally taking the first pitch or taking till they get to a strike. Very little of that for Lynchburg. They can swing at the first pitch. They can swing at first pitch breaking balls. They just really understand the hitting plan and how to wear down a hitter. Wear down a pitcher, rather. Pokerock swings on this one, belted into the gap. That's going to be down. 2 runs will come in at least. Avery Neves around the banking turn 3. He'll be coming in to score. It's a bases clearing double for Sean Pokerock. A pinch hit double for the freshman. How about that? Stepping into the spotlight and delivering. It was 3 straight walks, so there was some self-inflicted damage by Shenandoah, but Sean Pokerock does major damage for his ball club. Wow. Take the door off the hinges is right. We thought it might be Ben Jones or Avery Neves. No, it's a pinch hitter, Sean Pokerock, punching the clock here in the 4th inning. Checking in for duty, Sean Pokerock. How about that? He started the first round, game 1 in the Rocky Mount Regional, a 2-1 Lynchburg victory against Lebanon Valley. Sean Pokerock started that game. Didn't have great numbers, and Riley O'Donovan was also getting healthier. So O'Donovan got inserted back into the lineup, but Sean Pokerock has now played in 16 games this season. And I would argue that is his biggest knock of the year. 4th double of the year in 16 games. Got a homer as well. Off-speed pitch for a ball. More great work from Eric Hyatt. Back to what I was saying. They don't offer at a lot of bad pitches, they being the Lynchburg hitters. Jackson Sherman is really under pressure here. 3-0 pitch. That's a strike. Good bounce back there from Sherman. That's very unsettling as a pitcher. You come in, you have to face Avery Neves. You know his track record. You let him go on the walks, which maybe you think, well, I only gave him 1 base. But then Sean Pokerock clears the bases with a double in the gap. Hyatt just lasers a ball at Frankie Ritter. What a grab by Ritter. Man, that almost became self-defense for Frankie Ritter. My goodness, Eric Hyatt just vaporized that ball. How did Ritter even see it? Love to know the exit velocity on that one. Good grab by Ritter. Don't discount that. When you go back and look at the story of this game, don't forget about that play right there. That could end up mattering. Oh, Gavin Collins, he was hacking at the first pitch. Speaking of ripped, but it is foul. And I know maybe Lynchburg fans might be saying, well, Lynchburg has already scored 7 in the inning, and he hit the ball right at him. Frankie Ritter, didn't make a diving play, but I think that's a pretty good play right there. Bit of bad luck for Eric Hyatt, as he's had 2 singles prior to that. That's the hardest ball he's hit by far. But there you go. That's baseball in a nutshell. You dink a couple around for hits. The one you finally square up and hit on the nose gets lined right at a guy. 1-1 count. Sherman pitching to Collins. There's an off-speed pitch that is in the other batter's box. Good slide and stop by Blittersdorf. Once again, give him some credit. He's been under some pressure. Ball got to the backstop that we were thinking was going to be a big play and really cost Shenandoah at the time. Now, with an 8-run advantage, you don't think about that one as much. 2-1, Gavin Collins. Ready. Rips it foul. Count even at 2-2. We are in the top of the 4th inning. Lynchburg scored first with 2 in the 2nd. Shenandoah got their run in the bottom of the 3rd. And this is the top of the 4th. The Shenandoah response in the bottom half will be interesting. Here's the pitch from Sherman. Breaking ball low. Full count now. Eric Hyatt just lined out to the shortstop. Sean Pokerock, a pinch hit, bases clearing double. Neves, Jones, Garcia all walked. Atkins with a beautiful bunt single. Holden Fiedler had a single that was bobbled. Jackson Harding walked. Gavin Collins has already hit in this inning, struck out. Just barely got a piece of that one. Hit that ball off the cap. A little cue ball spinner. Some extra English on that one for the billiards fans, the snooker and the pool fans. We need more of those references in the broadcast. Another full count pitch coming from Sherman. Ball 4. So Gavin Collins is on board. Second time this game, first time this inning. Jackson Harding has already walked this inning. As this is another look at Sean Pokerock. Look at that. Short, compact swing. Doesn't try to do a whole lot. Just lets his natural strength and talent work for him and belts it into the left center gap. Check out that response. Yeah, the Lynchburg dugout was loving it. I think that was Angel Collazo that gave the big fist pump and the leg kick afterwards. Fans were into it as well. 9-1 ball game. Jackson Sherman pitching to Jackson Harding. 1-0 count. Harding has a sac bunt and a walk. That walk was earlier in this inning. He was the third hitter in this fourth inning that has gone on for a long time. A successful one for Lynchburg. Their starter, Zach Potts, is pitching well. He may have to run down to the bullpen and wake the arm back up. This inning has taken a while. 2-0 count to Jackson Harding. Lifts that foul, left side. Ryan Clausen on the run. No play for him. It hit about 6 rows up. As you get to see some Shenandoah fans there, they always travel well. Always great support. I know we got a lot of Shenandoah former players and alumni watching. And we got to shout out a few of those guys as well. A few of my close friends, former Shenandoah players. 2-1 offering coming up from Sherman. Breaking ball downstairs. Good take from Jackson Harding. Jackson Sherman is a freshman for Shenandoah. Jackson Harding in his 5th year for Lynchburg. Clausen's even with the bag at third. Infield regular depth other than that. Outfield maybe a bit shallow. Here's the pitch. Harding gets one into the outfield. Long run coming up for Cooper Anderson, but he is one of the best. He will camp under it for the final out of the inning, but it was a very long inning for Lynchburg. They explode for 7 runs. They got them in a variety of ways. So typical of the Lynchburg offense. They can just break you down and beat you so many different ways. And there was the big punch. Sean Pokerock, bases clearing double to give Lynchburg the 9-1 lead through 3.5 here in Super Regional play. Can't forget, fans, that it is Memorial Day weekend. We did a little salute to troops in between innings, and even the starting pitcher for Lynchburg, Zach Potts, tipping the cap. Very cool stuff there. Yeah, Memorial Day, paying tribute to the lives and legacies of our military members that have paid that ultimate price, their families as well. So important to think about here, even though we're thinking about baseball. Pop up into foul territory left side. Gavin Collins under it, hauling it in for the first out of the inning. That was Ryan Clausen. So, yeah, very, very nice touch there at the ballpark today. We hope your Memorial Day weekend is off to a great start. I guess it's still Friday. A lot of people are still working, but we're glad you're with us, and we hope you'll make plans to join us either at the ballpark tomorrow or online with the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. Just in regards to tomorrow, it will be an 11 a.m. first pitch, and then that if necessary game scheduled for 2:45. And, of course, if game one runs long, then that start time for the second one could be adjusted. But, yeah, you got to win 2 to get to Cedar Rapids, Iowa, the site for the D3 College World Series. We're down to 16 teams in Division III baseball, 16 ball clubs still playing. It'll be 8 after this weekend. Ripped into left field by Hayden Madigan. He'll turn for 2. Play coming in here, but the throw is high. Nice backup by Eric Hyatt. Avery Neves with a good throwing arm. Maybe the adrenaline pumping there, or perhaps just a wild throw. We've already said in this game that those happen from time to time. That's a double for Hayden Madigan. Shenandoah needed that. Actually, their 4th double of the game. And hit number 5 total. Double checking that. It's their 3rd double of the game, fans. And actually, it's hit number 6 total. Well, I'm going to keep double checking that. I may have that wrong. The information on your screen there is correct, though. It's a 9-1 Lynchburg lead. Runner on second, bottom of the 4th, 1 out. Hornets scored 7 in the top of the 4th. Ground ball left side from Kyle Lisa. He hit a soft liner to the second baseman to end inning number 2. Shenandoah has actually stranded 4 in scoring position. So the guys from Winchester probably feel like maybe they've missed some opportunities. But again, credit Lynchburg pitcher Zach Potts. Always so good with runners on base. 0-2 count coming up to Kyle Lisa. Here's the pitch. Wipeout slider that just missed. Nice take from Kyle Lisa. Zach Potts kind of, I think, subscribes to that Greg Maddox pitching philosophy in a couple ways. Maddox said all your big pitches are coming from the stretch. When I'm in the windup, I just try to keep the ball in the ballpark. I think that's what Zach Potts thinks about. There's a ball that got sprayed into the Lynchburg dugout. I think everybody's okay over there. Our fans, there's a thumbs up from one of the Lynchburg fans. Did he make the catch? He's got a glove on. Hang on. I'm going to need a replay of that if he made that catch. Wow. 1-2 pitch coming up from Potts to Kyle Lisa. Here's a foul ball to the right side. Fan might have another chance at a catch. Just continuing the Greg Maddox comparisons. That's probably unfair. But Maddox always talked about in the windup, I'm just trying to keep the ball in the ballpark, trying to throw pitches at the knees, let them swing. Then from the stretch, that's where I'll get nasty. As Potts going inside, nice job by Lisa to just stay alive. He might have hit that off the tape, off the grip. But Maddox said, I want to have the at-bat done in 3 pitches, 3 or 4 pitches max. That means I've either struck you out in 3 or 4 pitches or you've swung the bat and hopefully gotten out. Potts really, really pitches with that philosophy, I think. Efficient out there. Doesn't waste a lot of pitches. Yes, there's setup pitches. That one, for example, I think was designed to be low and away. You hope Lisa offers at it. But Zach Potts executes those setup pitches. They're not waste pitches. They don't like that term. It's a setup pitch for this. Fastball in. Oh, that one did hit Lisa. They're going to ask the first baseman if he swung or not. And again, just in regards to the rule, I think it's going to be a strikeout. I think it is going to be a strikeout. That ball hit Lisa, and he did not get any of the bat on it. So on a swing, fans, there is no hit by pitch. And it's one of the cruelest things about our game because you can swing at a ball and get hit and strike out. We are going to get another look at it. So here you go. Ah, man. That hit Lisa on the hand. That hurts. He's going to take the bat, and I think, unfortunately, he knows it's a strikeout. It's a big strikeout for Zach Potts with a runner in scoring position. And believe it or not, it's actually Potts' first punch out. But, yeah, that's a cruel thing about hitting is if you try to bunt a ball or swing at a ball and it hits you, it's a strike, and it can be strike 3. It's not, quote, unquote, the hand is part of the bat. The hand is not part of the bat, even though that's where it hit him. It all matters whether he swung or not. Cooper Anderson swinging at the first one. This is into shallow right field. Jackson Harding coming on. Carson Atkins took it away from him. Have a laugh about it, I guess, as Atkins swipes it from the waiting Jackson Harding. So all is well for Lynchburg. They leave one Shenandoah runner stranded in scoring position. Hayden Madigan doubled, but no runs come across for Shenandoah, and Lynchburg leads it 9-1 after 4 complete in Super Regional play, Game 1.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
Football has taught me a lot throughout my life. It's definitely had a huge imprint on who I am as a person. Competing at a Division III level created that opportunity for me to go to college. Not only was I the first one in my family to graduate college, but I was really the first one to even go. Being the first one, I'm breaking that cycle, and now that I've graduated, I'm not sure what's the next step, but I know I have a lot of doors open. And a lot of those are open because I played football and ran track here at Otterbein.
Kyle Haney hanging out with you on a sunny Friday in Central Virginia. We're hanging out with Shenandoah and Lynchburg. Holden Fiedler, the hitter for Lynchburg, 1 for 2. He singled in that big 4th inning. Here's how the inning by inning looks like for Lynchburg. Nothing in the first. Brandon Garcia did get on. 2 in the second. Blanked in the third. 7 in the fourth. And now they hit in the top of the 5th inning against Jackson Sherman. The freshman staying out there for Shenandoah. He entered the ball game with bases loaded, facing Avery Neves. Walked Neves and then gave up the bases clearing double to Sean Pokerock. I think you could tell already he's got good stuff. And if you're Coach Kevin Anderson, you're not going to him in a situation like this unless there's some confidence there. 2-2 count on Holden Fiedler. Ball airborne, right side, long run. Pierce Booker at first, going to navigate the warning track and does make the grab for the first out of the inning. So let's go for a little roll call, a little shout out here. This is dangerous with Carson Atkins up. I want to say hello to some folks that are tuned in. Austin Higley doing the yeoman's work down on the Gulf Coast. He's watching some baseball today. Brian Goddard, who, like Austin Higley, is a Jefferson Forest alum, and Brian Goddard is a Shenandoah alum. He is such a big baseball fan and a big supporter. He was talking about during regional play, watching the game, and hearing an interview after the game with Coach Anderson. He almost started tearing up, fighting back tears. It was an emotional regional win for Shenandoah. Say hello to the Gerke family, who is becoming big fans of ours. Caroline Gerke out here, one of my absolute all-time favorites. She's out here working hard today. The Rice family might have us locked in, the LaDuca family. Those two guys, Sam and Tim, are working hard for us here on LHSN. Ground ball left side. Lucas Jones makes a play. Let's say hello to any Lucas Jones fans out there, and I know there's a ton of them. Mentioned he's a Hill City guy, Heritage High School. One of the all-time best as a Pioneer and then as a Hornet at Lynchburg. Still the single-season hits record holder at Lynchburg. Lucas Jones, 77 hits one year. Wow. Did I have that many in my career, Austin and Brian? Probably not. Got to say hello to the Haney family. My fam, ground ball here. Ryan Clausen down on a knee. Bazooka across to get Carson Atkins for the out. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. I know we got some more local high school baseball coaches. Keith Piper is locked in. It's unbelievable that Keith Piper is watching, but he is. Dave Brown, Chris Carr over at Rustburg. They're getting set for a regional game. My buddy Chad Anderson down at Chatham. They're making another playoff run, the Cavaliers of Chatham. Here's Brandon Garcia swinging on one. I think roll call is over because the half inning is over. Fly ball pretty easy for Cooper Anderson. It's the quietest inning so far for Lynchburg. 3 up, 3 down. First time they can say that. Tip your cap to Jackson Sherman from Shenandoah shutting down Lynchburg. Let's see if the boys from Winchester can rally in the bottom of the 5th inning. It's the leadoff man, Frankie Ritter, set to hit for Shenandoah in their half of the 5th inning. I was going through the shout-outs in the roll call. Let's say hello to the Lynchburg track and field team. Some of those members up in Rochester. And Shenandoah's got some track and field athletes up there in Rochester as well. So the track and field guys and gals in Rochester, New York for some postseason action. How exciting is that? It's an exciting time of the year, I'm telling you. We got postseason college baseball, postseason high school baseball. Big leagues are in full swing. You got some postseason action in other sports as well. And you got a Memorial Day weekend to enjoy it all, hopefully. Ritter swings on that. Tough play here. Garcia, one hop with a bare hand, but he's not going to get it in time. They call Brandon Garcia Hollywood, and with good reason. I think it was probably the only play he had was to try to just barehand that on one bounce and wing it across. Frankie Ritter runs well. That's an infield single for Frankie Ritter. His second of the game, by the way. He's 2 for 3. Surprise, surprise for the guy that is the conference record holder in hits, Frankie Ritter. I think the career average for Frankie Ritter is equally as impressive. Yeah, in his career, he's a .353 hitter. That will not be going down at the moment with a 2 for 3 day right now. This is Colby Martin. He's 0 for 1. Lynchburg has had a nice battle plan against a guy who is very dangerous. Colby Martin entered the weekend hitting .398, and he was absolutely on fire last weekend in 5 regional games. He went 15 for 24. Ritter will swing on that and foul it away. Excuse me, Colby Martin, I'm sorry. Frankie Ritter leads off at first base. So a chance for Shenandoah here in this inning. Got the leadoff man in the top of the 5th. I don't think Zach Potts is tiring by any stretch of the imagination, but this is your 3rd time through the lineup, and the data says the averages should be going up. A dive from Carson Atkins. He took flight but couldn't take the hit away. Might have a play at second to get Martin. No, he slides in safely. Feet first double there for Colby Martin. Full props and credit for Carson Atkins for doing all he could to take the hit away, but he could not get it in time. And now Shenandoah does have something building with their 3-hole man, Gavin Horning, hitting. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. First base hit of the game for Frankie Ritter. Boy, Shenandoah needed that. Is that 4 doubles now for Shenandoah? Yes, it is. 4 doubles. Zach Potts does not surrender a lot of extra base hits. That speaks to the quality of this Shenandoah offense. Horning wanted the first one, swung and missed. Keep thinking Frankie Ritter's hitting. He gets so many hits, you can't escape this guy. Frankie Ritter does lead off at third base. Colby Martin is on second. This is Gavin Horning. Line drive up the middle. That's down. 1 run will score. Martin had to hold. He'll get the stop sign at third base from Coach Kevin Anderson. Oh, and then there's a bobble, and now Martin will score. So Shenandoah had some defensive mishaps earlier. Call that one a slight miscue from Carson Atkins in center field. Martin was holding at third. The stop sign was up, but then when the ball was roaming free on the outfield carpet, Martin decided to scamper home. It's a 9-3 Lynchburg lead, but Shenandoah adds 2 on the Horning base knock. 3 straight hits for Shenandoah. You know their offense is capable. That's why if you're Lynchburg, you love the fact that you've staked yourself to a 9-1 lead, but now that's down to 9-3. In ODAC championship weekend play in Richmond, these two teams had some high-scoring games. Remember that. Lynchburg won on Friday, 13-5, and then Lynchburg won the championship game 11-9, but that was 8 straight from Shenandoah to begin the game, and then Lynchburg answered with 11 uninterrupted until Shenandoah finally got a 9th run across in the 9th inning. So I don't think you're unsettled or rattled just yet if you're Zach Potts. You know you have a 6-run lead, but never fun giving up 3 straight singles. And as I was in the middle of saying when the hits started happening, 3rd time through the order for Shenandoah. So they got a better look at Zach Potts. For Mr. Potts, this is the 2nd time he has faced Shenandoah this season. It was 6 2/3 on the road in Winchester in regular season play. Zach Potts surrendered 2 earned runs in that ball game, struck out 3, walked 2, did give up 2 doubles there. Jack Batchmore came on in relief. Lynchburg ended up winning that game in 10 innings. Tyler Blittersdorf, the catcher, will foul another one away. Blittersdorf has had a lot of foul balls in his 2 at-bats, and he did put the 1 ball in play. That was down the left field line. That was Shenandoah's 2nd double of the game. They've hit 2 more since then. Shenandoah, just on the season, extra base numbers, they're impressive. As a unit, they now have 177 extra base hits. That's in 50 games. This is the 51st game. They've got 120 doubles. So it's over 2 doubles per game. 21 triples and 36 jacks in there as well. And back to that Maddox-like approach that Zach Potts has. You can probably give him some credit for keeping Shenandoah in the yard. It's a big yard here at Bank of the James Stadium. I showed my Lynchburg Hill City heritage there. But it is Bank of the James Stadium. Close miss from Zach Potts. 400 to dead center. 325 down each line. The power alleys are roughly 370. Full count delivery coming up here. There is activity in the Lynchburg bullpen. Options are available. Potts set. He'll throw over to first. Keep an eye on Gavin Horning, who does run well. Horning singled. Martin doubled. Frankie Ritter led off with a single. So the 3rd time through the lineup has been fruitful so far for the boys in red from Winchester. Here's the full count pitch. Missed the zone. 2nd free pass that Zach Potts has issued. Just had a mound visit from associate head coach Travis Beasley. So now you wonder how quickly will Lynchburg make the move. And really haven't even had a chance to talk about what Zach Potts did in regional play. It was 8 innings of 1-run ball against Lebanon Valley. Kept his team right where they needed to be. Lynchburg ended up winning that game 2-1 in extra innings. Strike from Zach Potts to start Pierce Booker. And then Zach Potts turned around on 1-day rest and got his first career save against Lebanon Valley in the championship game, the if necessary championship game. Only had to throw to 2 batters. It was sizzling out of Zach Potts' hand. Talked to him about that on the interview that you saw. And if you did not see our interviews with Ryan Clausen from Shenandoah and Zach Potts from Lynchburg, You can find those on the tournament website. The links should be on each team's website, and you can find them on the social media destinations as well. That tournament website's pretty cool. All the stats and info is there. Good stop from Holden Fiedler. Bodies that one up, keeps it off the backstop, and it's a 1-2 count to Pierce Booker. Booker is grounded out to the shortstop twice. 0 for 2. Ryan Clausen waiting on deck. He is 1 for 2. Singled in his first at bat. Here comes the pitch from Potts. Oh, that one just missed. Good eye ball from Pierce Booker. We give Lynchburg so much credit for their plate discipline and strike zone awareness. Shenandoah deserves a bit as well, specifically that last take from Pierce Booker. Count is even at 2-2. Got him swinging there. Second strikeout of the ball game for Zach Potts. And maybe because of where we're at in the game, pitch counts, how Shenandoah has turned the lineup over, just maybe Coach Travis Beasley, associate head coach Travis Beasley, told Zach Potts, hey, this is probably going to be it for you. Empty the tank. Give them all you got. Don't hold back. Get that sizzling fastball that you had when you were closing against Lebanon Valley on Sunday. Go for that. But I'm not saying that was the case, fans. I don't know. Zach Potts might be coming back out to start the 6th inning. We are in the bottom of the 5th right now. Ryan Clausen, third at bat. Starts with an 0-1 count. Clausen swings at that. That's that sharp slider that you love from Zach Potts. That's got great action. Hard to see out of the hand. It's a fastball release out of the hand, that slider, that cutter. Hitting coaches say look for the dot. Sometimes you see that with Zach Potts. Sometimes you don't. It's borderline unhittable when he really cranks it. 0-2 count. See if he goes back to it. Yeah. Slider again just off the plate. More great discipline. 1-2 delivery coming up to the Shenandoah third baseman, Ryan Clausen. Richmond, Virginia native. 1 out with runners on first and second. Shenandoah has already scored twice in the bottom of the 5th inning. Swing and miss. Back-to-back punch-outs for Zach Potts. Maybe he is emptying the tank. And that Sunday save situation on one-day rest, I called him the thrill from Oilville. Zach Potts. Oilville, Virginia is the hometown. Goochland County. Went to the same high school as Justin Verlander. A lot of great baseball players over the years from Goochland. I think Verlander's probably got to stand at the top, though, doesn't he? Ground ball up the middle. Garcia's there. Short way to second. Jones covering, and the inning is over, but Shenandoah does get 2 back. We're through 5 complete here at Bank of the James Stadium in the Hill City. It's Lynchburg 9, Shenandoah 3. The Shenandoah Hornets have 8 hits It looks like, according to my records, which are unofficial, that's why you need to go to those websites and follow along with the official stats. But it looks like, according to my records, they have left 7 on base. The Lynchburg line looks to be 5 hits with only 3 left on. So that tells you a lot in itself. I know some stats are overrated, but that tells you a lot. Lynchburg 9 runs on 5 hits. Shenandoah has 3 runs on 8 hits. The big difference, the walk total. Lynchburg has drawn 8 base on balls. There's Ben Jones hacking and ripping one through the hole there between first and second. Little mini celebration for Ben Jones as he was coming down the line. Was that a get the monkey off my back celebration? Was that what Ben Jones was doing? It looked like he kind of reached behind and ripped the hand over the top. It wasn't quite the bow and arrow that a lot of people will do. Basketball players do that a lot. That might have been exactly what that was. I don't know. Or maybe it was Ben Jones taking the arrow out of the quiver from behind. Who knows? That was fun, though. I nearly got picked at first base. They're having fun, but then you got to be ready to run the bases as well. Good sharp pickoff move from Jackson Sherman, who's still out there. This will be the second time Sherman has faced Avery Neves, so the 10th batter he has faced. Oh, Jones has got Sherman's attention now. Back-to-back throws. He wants to keep him honest over there. That was a good pickoff move from Sherman, by the way. I don't know if any of our younger fans or pitchers are watching, but he picked as he was getting back on the mound. I really like that. You try to pick him once, hold that thought as it could be a double play. Ritter to second, on to first. Did they get Neves? Yes, they did. 2 for the price of 1. Shenandoah turns the double play. They are now even with Lynchburg for the D3 lead. Both teams have now turned 45 double plays this season. Call it 6-4-3 in the books. And call it more good stuff from Jackson Sherman. It was 3 up, 3 down last inning. Now, Ben Jones got on with a base hit, so you can't say that he is, retired 6 in a row. That's basically what he's done. Hard hit ball from Pokerock. That ate up Ritter, but he hung tough. Had to wear it in the belly button, I think, but ended up making the throw across. Another quick inning for Lynchburg. Jackson Sherman. Do it, big man. The freshman keeping his ball club in striking distance. It's Lynchburg 9, Shenandoah 3. Super Regional action in the Hill City of Lynchburg at Bank of the James Stadium. The second baseman, Kyle Lisa, leads off for Shenandoah, still facing Zach Potts. I sort of debated out loud if maybe Lynchburg would be entertaining a new arm out of the bullpen, if Zach Potts would be emptying the tank. Finish on empty, which is a good phrase that we heard over the weekend, but it's still Zach Potts. He's still got some left in the tank here. 8-9-1 due up for Shenandoah. First pitch swinging for Lisa. That's a fair ball. How about that? Oh, hang on. Now they are calling it a foul ball. Initial signal from the home plate umpire was fair, and then I think he got overruled by a colleague out there. That is a foul ball. Might have been off of Lisa's body potentially as well. That could have been why it was called a foul ball too. But Zach Potts, the thrill from Oilville, still giving Lynchburg his all in the bottom of the 6th inning in Super Regional play. Zach Potts is undefeated on the season. And he's now got a save, too. That thrilling moment to lock down a victory for Lynchburg in Rocky Mount, Lebanon Valley. Yeah, I think that might have been the call. I think it might have caught the left foot of Kyle Lisa. Swing and miss. 1-2 count coming up for Zach Potts. In Bank of the James Stadium, which I jokingly called the Thrill City Coliseum. We're in the Hill City, the Thrill City. I don't think I need to explain that to you, right, fans? You're smart. You get it. I also called it Thunderdome. That was the Tina Turner reference. Thunderdome. Remember the movie? 2 teams enter, 1 team leaves. 1 team books a ticket to Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Oh, heater upstairs. Potts climbing the ladder. Just strikeout number 4 for Zach Potts, but he's punched out 3 of the last 4. There was a ground ball from Hayden Madigan in there. Yeah, Tina Turner, one of my all-time favorites. We've been losing some legends lately. It hurts. There was Tina Turner and Harry Belafonte and Gordon Lightfoot, three musicians kind of all in a row, some sports legends. I'm thinking about Jim Brown. Got the news he passed away over the weekend. There was the pitching great Vida Blue. It's tough when you have these people that you kind of grew up with or you were watching, you've been listening to, regardless of age. And, it's part of your history, and it can hurt sometimes. But that's why you got to enjoy life, right? Enjoy every pitch in these baseball games. Enjoy every song. Enjoy every sandwich, I say. There's a swing and a miss, from Cooper Anderson. He is 1 for 2 with a double. Shenandoah's got 8 base hits. Half of them are doubles. Impressive. Anderson, he can't catch up to the Potts fastball. That's that sizzling heater I was talking about that Zach Potts used in relief down in Rocky Mount. He's using it now. There's the regional stats. There's the tail of the tape from what each team did last weekend. Now, Shenandoah did have an extra game in there. They played 5 games. Lynchburg played just 4. Each team lost 1 game in that. Shenandoah lost their first game, then they ran off 4 straight. For Lynchburg, they won Friday and Saturday, lost the first championship game, and then turned around and won the if necessary championship game. Beat Lebanon Valley 5-3. That was the role reversal game where the closer, Jack Batchmore, started for Lynchburg. And this guy, Zach Potts, the all-time wins leader at the university, he closed the game. But I don't know if we want to show it again or not, but I think you could see Lynchburg's team batting average was under 200. But much like today, they score in a variety of ways. They pressure the defense. They take the walks. They'll get hit by pitch. And they make the most of their opportunities. That also means the sac flies, sacrifice bunts. Lynchburg is the complete package offensively. Maybe not the power numbers that you might think from an elite team, 41-7. And Lynchburg is elite, no doubt about that. These are 2 elite ball clubs. But Lynchburg found a way to win despite hitting under 200. Fly ball from Frankie Ritter. Carson Atkins is on the move in the left center gap. And the 3rd out of the inning is recorded. It's 3 up, 3 down that inning. Zach Potts, is he finding a second wind? Maybe so. 2 Ks and 3 straight sat down for the thrill from Oilville. Lynchburg leads 9-3 through 6 complete at Bank of the James Stadium. It's Eric Hyatt back in the batter's box for Lynchburg. 5, 6, 7 due up in the top of the 7th for Lynchburg. So we're into those championship rounds. We're into the late innings here. Lynchburg does lead by 6. For some fans, it probably feels somewhat comfortable. For anybody that knows how good Shenandoah is, I don't think it feels comfortable at all. You'd love to add on some more. You're never fully at ease until the game is done and dusted and you put the cherry on top. Eric Hyatt offers at a breaking ball, pulls it foul. He's 2 for 3 so far in this ball game. And the one that he got out on was one of the harder balls we've seen hit today. Absolutely smoked it at the shortstop, Frankie Ritter. Frankie Ritter's glove hand might be black and blue after that one, but he did make a good play to record an out at a big time as well. That was in the high run-scoring 4th inning for Lynchburg. Oh, look at Cooper Anderson. Great read on it. Sprinting in, lines it up, and lays out for the catch. Told you he was elite defensively. Cooper Anderson. That is fabulous stuff right there. This was not the high exit velocity from Hyatt. Anderson on the move. Yeah, tracks it well. See him take his eyes right to the baseball there. That is so good. And it's a fundamental, watch out, Gavin Collins. You can't talk about the previous play when Gavin Collins is in there. He's ready to hit. That's his first hit of the ball game, by the way. And I know some of that taking the eyes to the ball is just natural. I think great athletes do that in every sport. They let their eyes and their head really guide them. Sometimes pitching coaches will talk about that when you're struggling to find the control. Hey, take your eyes to the catcher's mitt. Take that lead eye, that left eye, if you're a right-hander. Try to put that in the catcher's glove. That's a good thought for any pitcher listening out there. Something to try. Who knows? It might not work for you. If you walk the next guy, don't blame me. Gavin Collins leads off at first base. Oh, he's picked off. He's going to try to beat the throw into second. Ritter covering. He's got it. No slide from Collins. Basically kind of put the white flag up in the end. And it's 2 outs. This is crazy from Jackson Sherman because he has not retired all the batters individually. He's given up some base hits, but there was the double play from Avery Neves, and then Gavin Collins getting picked off. So for Jackson Sherman, he has faced the minimum in the last 9 hitters. Let me try to rephrase it again. It's not 9 up, 9 down for Jackson Sherman. Lynchburg has 2 base hits in there. But because of the way they've been retired, the pickoff, Gavin Collins just there, and then the double play ball, Jackson Sherman has basically gotten through the order clean the last 9 times. Now, Jackson Sherman did walk Avery Neves when he entered the game, and he also gave up the bases clearing double to Sean Pokerot. But give high marks to Jackson Sherman, who is a young guy, a freshman. He doesn't seem to be bothered at all by the moment. Harding rips this one. This will send Cooper Anderson back again. His defensive prowess will get tested, but the speed takes over. And in the end, it's a pretty comfortable grab in deep left center field for Cooper Anderson. So Lynchburg doesn't go 3 up, 3 down, but they only get 3 hitters to the plate. And Shenandoah still within striking distance as we move to the bottom of the 7th. It's game 1 in a Super Regional Series, a D3 World Series bid on the line. That's a cool logo right there. That is, of course, the state of Virginia with the Hillcats logo, the Lynchburg Hillcats logo in there. Here's the Hornets showdown. It is a battle of the Hornets, fans, if you don't know. Always makes it tough on a broadcaster. But you see the OPS there, that is on base plus slugging. Advantage Shenandoah, few more home runs, not a big difference there. ERA advantage for Lynchburg, check that box. And the FIP, which is one that we love, that is the fielding independent pitching. That is a new school stat that basically just factors what the pitcher controls, that being strikeouts, walks, and homers. No defense involved in that stat. It's interesting that it does not factor a hit by pitch, but the new school analytics and stat heads have given us the FIP. And actually, you know, the research saying, not to get too deep into the rabbit hole here, but the research says that the FIP really is a great way to measure your pitching staff and how effective a job they do individually as well. I mean, it's kind of similar to the K to walk ratio because that's 2 of the 3 metrics. The other metric is the home run. So Lynchburg doesn't give up a lot of home runs, so their FIP should be pretty good. We know their K to walk ratio is really good. Lynchburg on the season coming in to this game, as a team, they struck out 428 and only walked 151. That's good for a 2.83 K to walk ratio. And it's almost a full strikeout better than Shenandoah. There's a ball that popped out of the glove from Gavin Collins. I know he would have backed himself to make that play, and you could see the body language. Even when it popped out of his mitt, he was going to snatch it and then spin and throw across. But unfortunately, it got too far away from Gavin Collins. And it ends up being what looks like is going to go down as a base hit. You make the call, folks scoring at home. And if you're scoring at home, hats off to you. That's incredible. That's a real baseball fan right there, if you're scoring at home. Gavin Collins defensively has been outstanding the second half of the season. Wasn't bad by any regard in the first half, but he's just gotten better and better as the year has gone on. Oh, that's a hit by pitch right there that got Gavin Horning on the wrist. You know, it's interesting. Gavin Horning, the hit by pitch, is part of his game. He has been plunked now 24 times. So in 51 games, Gavin Horning, not quite half a hit by pitch per game, but closing in on that mark. He's going to get a gander from the athletic trainer from Shenandoah. That hurts. And you know, with those numbers, 24 hit by pitch now, that tells you a few things. Crowds the plate. Pitchers are trying to get the ball in on him, trying to jam him, so he crowds the plate. Probably a guy that doesn't move out of the way a whole lot. There's also some luck involved, some bad pitching involved. And more great sportsmanship there. You might not have been able to see it, but as Horning was going down to first base, Zach Potts looked at him, kind of tapped the chest and said, "Hey, my bad." So that's really great. We've seen that multiple times in this game. And you got to say, there is such a healthy respect between these two ball clubs. There's no fear. They both want to win. They both want to win, I think, as badly as any game they've won this season. But there is such a healthy respect, and we heard that in our interviews yesterday, which you can find on the tournament website. These two players really appreciate their opponents in the other uniform. Coaching staffs are the same way. They know they're operating at an elite level. And also, the guys on both teams touched on, hey, you want to test yourself against the best. You want to face another heavyweight champion. You know, it's great pounding out wins against teams that have losing records or whatever. Those are fine. You have to build the resume that way. You have to go through the schedule. You have to play your conference teams, of course. But it does do something for the baseball soul when you get to test yourself against another team that is operating at the highest level like you are. And back to that healthy respect, neither team is shying away from it. Neither team, is doing the thing where they won't give the other team a compliment, where they won't say, "Oh, they're just any other team. We're going to treat it like any other game." As you get a look at some of our fans and Sam Rice, talk about doing the yeoman's work. Sam Rice is down there taking pictures for us. Such a hard-working bunch here with the LHSN team. We'll run them down in a bit. Maybe get towards the I was about to say later innings. We're in the bottom of the seventh. Here's a bouncing ball to the right side. Eric Hyatt fields, but it is foul. But, yeah, these two teams, there's full confidence. They know they can beat anybody. But they also know, hey, we're going to have to play really good to beat Lynchburg and vice versa. Lynchburg's saying that. We're going to have to bring our A game to beat Shenandoah. You might be able to win some other games with your C+ or your B-. Not this weekend. You got to have your best stuff. And you also got to know that, hey, if we don't bring our best stuff, well, then we're going to lose. And that's just what's going to happen. You're not going to get any gifts. You're not going to get any freebies. Now, I call the walks the freebies, of course. Zach Potts has walked 2 and hit 1. Threatening to walk Tyler Blittersdorf right here. Catcher for Shenandoah is 1 for 2 with a walk and an RBI double. Here's the pitch. Blittersdorf fouls that one away. Now the count is full. It's a 9-3 Lynchburg lead. Super Regional Game 1. Nobody out. Runners at first and second. Shenandoah's got 8 hits and 2 walks. Probably coming up on 9 hits. No, Avery Neves will take that hit away. Didn't have to lay out, but that's due in large part to Avery Neves' speed, his reaction on the ball off the bat, and then also there's some scouting report in there as well. Lynchburg coaching staff just, I think, one of the best around, and if not the best at positioning defensively, pitching to the scouting report, but also understanding it defensively. So Blittersdorf is out on a ball that was fairly well hit. This is Pierce Booker, 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Grounded out to shortstop the other 2 times. Lynchburg came into the game leading the country in double plays at 45 this year. Shenandoah has equaled that with a double play of their own. That was in the top of the 6th inning. So impressed with what Jackson Sherman has done after taking the ball from Jacob Favor. And he gave up the 1 big knock. It's a bases clearing double to Sean Pokerock. But I think you have to admire the way Jackson Sherman has stayed in there, stayed in the fight after taking basically a big kind of a knockout shot. More boxing references. He has just come back and answered with some shots of his own. 0-1 count there as Potts gets ahead. Oh, line drive. Oh, Garcia misplayed it. That was tough. That was a hard shot. Garcia was trying to field it on the 1 hop. Kind of screened off by the runner a little bit there as well. Misplayed might not be the right word. Let's give Pierce Booker some credit. He really just hit it through the infield hard. Scorched that. 1 hop on the dirt. I know Garcia would love to have another chance at it. It'll go down as a single, I feel pretty sure. And if it does, that might be 10 hits for Shenandoah now. They've got the bases juiced. A real threat right here with Ryan Clausen. The claw can latch on to 1 and do some major damage. 1 out. Check swing offering there. Yes, he did go, says the first base umpire. Much to the chagrin of the Shenandoah fans in the dugout. 0-1 start for Zach Potts. I think if you're Potts, you really are thinking about pitching on empty now. We're in the bottom of the 7th. You know Jack Batchmore is available in the bullpen. Ready, willing, and able. Go all in right here. Swing and a miss from Clausen. This is one of those high leverage spots. If you have the win predictor, this at bat says a lot right here with the bases loaded. Got a second look at that play for Brandon Garcia. He'll watch it again and think, yeah, maybe it should have had that. Who knows? 0-2 count. Fiedler slides out. Breaking ball in the dirt. Good smother by Holden Fiedler. He's so good at keeping the ball off the backstop, but then also keeping it close. Not many get out of the dirt circle when Holden Fiedler is blocking the ball. He is an outstanding defensive catcher. All the pitchers love throwing to him, including this guy. Zach Potts set with a 1-2 count. Late action there from Ryan Clausen. That's a 2-strike hitting approach that a lot of coaches will talk about. Work late, try to hit the ball to right field. Clausen was doing that. He nearly hit that one out of Fiedler's mitt. Good 2-strike spoil right there from Ryan Clausen. Clausen with a deep breath. Eyeballs the barrel as he gets back in the box. Couple waggles there, hands around the belt. Now we're ready to go again. Potts kicks, fires, check swing again. No appeal that time. Holden Fiedler and Zach Potts must have thought the bat didn't even get close to the zone to not at least ask down at first base. Count is even. 2 balls, 2 strikes. There is one out in the bottom of the 7th. And the bases are loaded. Everything on your screen correct there at Bank of the James Stadium in the Battle of the Hornets Super Regional play. Foul ball from Clausen. This is a good at bat, isn't it? This is one of those classic baseball at bats. I talk about this at bat. This is the essence of our game right here. The battle between pitcher and hitter with pressure on the line. Bases loaded. Super regional play. Not an elimination game. You got to win 2 to advance. But a massive spot. Potts went outside again and missed. Count is gone full. Why wouldn't this great at bat finish with a full count? Zach Potts and Ryan Clausen. My favorite basketball announcer, Bill Walton, would say this is where the fate of the known universe is decided right here. Full count, 1 out, bottom of the 7th. 6-run game, but Ryan Clausen could make it much closer right here. Ball to the right side, right field line. Long run and out of play into the Lynchburg bullpen. So we get to try it again. The fate of the known universe hangs in the balance again. There's a basketball goal down there. Must be Lynchburg Hillcats. Did he make it in the basketball goal? Speaking of Bill Walton, basketball announcers and former players, did Ryan Clausen make a long full court buzzer beater? That was fun. I guess the Lynchburg Hillcats bullpen sets that up and has some fun with that in between games or before the game. All right, full count coming up again. Potts fires. Ball flared into right field. Jackson Harding is there. Tagging at third base. Harding will throw into second. Run will score, so it's a sac fly for Ryan Clausen. Not exactly how he wanted to decide the fate of his ball club, but productive nonetheless, and it gets Shenandoah one step closer. A 5-run Lynchburg lead now. That was Colby Martin that scored the run. Gavin Horning, who's hit by pitch, moved up from second to third. And now it's runners on the corner. Pierce Booker is at first base. So probably a small win for Lynchburg there with bases loaded. You get the second out of the inning. Excuse me. Yes, should be 2 outs. There is 2 outs. Scoreboard here at Bank of the James Stadium says 1, but there is 2 outs. And your screen is right with the 2 yellow dots there indicating, yes, the thumbs up from our producer, an all-around fearless leader, Tim LaDuca. He's the director, actually, and the producer. Swing and a miss from Hayden Madigan. Down at Rocky Mount, I called Tim LaDuca our technical and spiritual advisor, as well as a ultimate Frisbee enthusiast and all-around great guy. Rochester, New York native. 1-1 pitch from Potts. Nice spot right there. Looked like Madigan after the pitch kind of had that, yeah, maybe I should have let it rip. 1-2 count, though. All is not lost for Hayden Madigan, the left fielder. He has a double. He's 2 for 3. Ground out to the second baseman and shortstop as well. Potts looks in, deals, check swing. Did he go? He did not, says the first base umpire. Nasty one from Potts. How do you lay off if you're Hayden Madigan? Tip the cap, or maybe the helmet in this case, as Shenandoah is hitting right now in the bottom of the 7th. We'll try it again. Deuce is wild. Here it comes. Just off the plate from Zach Potts, more than he wanted. Wanted to go outside, but was hoping to catch the outer black or outer third there. Runner from first will be on the move. That is Pierce Booker. It is runners at first and third with 2 outs. Potts holds, now fires, inside pitch. Ball 4. It got away from Holden Fiedler, but down that third base line, and Gavin Horning was forced to hold. There's the conversation with Coach Kevin Anderson and Gavin Horning. So it is a walk. It is, by my count, the 3rd base on balls that Zach Potts has issued. Shenandoah pitchers, 2 of them, that being Jacob Favor, who started, and Jackson Sherman, have combined for 8 walks. Major difference in this ball game, the fact that Lynchburg has taken more walks. Bases loaded again. It's a 1-0 start for Kyle Lisa. Second baseman is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. He's a 5th-year man from Cedar Knolls, New Jersey. Scanning the Lynchburg dugout. Wonder if this is the last hitter for Zach Potts. Maybe. Gets across for strike one. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. 5-run game. Shenandoah, no runs in the first and the second. They scored 1 in the third, none in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, donut in the 6th, and 1 here in the 7th. A 7th inning that continues. Here's the pitch to Lisa. Ball into the elevator shaft that will not stay in. It is foul for strike 2. Now it's coming back. Yeah, it came down from the VIP suites, the box office section up top. And then it filtered down. There's Evan Gates up there watching the game and doing some great stuff on the visuals for us. 1-2 pitch coming up for Zach Potts. Fastball. Up the ladder. Kyle Lisa does not offer. It was just a bit too high, I think, for Lisa to swing at it. You want that elevated fastball to be about neck height. I think that's the ideal one. 2-2 pitch coming up. Full volume here at Bank of the James Stadium. They're getting behind Zach Potts. Swung on, lifted into left field. It's down for a base hit. 2 runs are in. Slight bobble by Avery Neves, but not enough for the runner at second to advance. Call it a soft single for Kyle Lisa, but it's a 2 RBI single. And it gets Shenandoah 1 step closer. Maybe 2 steps closer would be a better way to phrase it. It's a 9-6 game now. You just had to assume this was going to happen. And here comes associate head coach Travis Beasley. I do think that's probably it for Zach Potts. You never know. I believe, in my opinion, he has pitched great. I know Zach Potts doesn't like giving up 6 runs. He's talked about that with me before. He said, I should never give up multiple runs in an inning, but you're facing one of the best offenses in the country right here with Shenandoah. There is no shame in doing what Zach Potts did today. There's Kyle Lisa. Right-hander swung on it just out of the reach of Brandon Garcia, who was going back, and Avery Neves couldn't get there as well. Big applause for Zach Potts. The thrill from Oilville deserves it. Probably not the way he wanted to exit the ball game, but he does exit with a 3-run lead and would be in line for the win. For Zach Potts, it would be win number 11 if this score line stands. Now, out of the bullpen is the guy I love to call the Jack. It's Jack Batchmore. His season is one that will go down in Lynchburg lore. Jack Batchmore, up to this point, is 8-1 with 11 saves. I'm going to repeat it for you. 8 wins, 1 loss, 11 saves in 25 appearances. Jack Batchmore's ERA is 1.64. Hitters hitting just a measly 202 this season off Jack Batchmore. He's got the second most innings on the team, and all of those but 1 coming out of the bullpen. That tells you how much Jack Batchmore has pitched. I really don't like the term closer because to me in baseball, closer implies a 1-inning guy. Jack Batchmore will pitch as many innings as you need him to, and he's always available with a rubber arm as well. Jack Batchmore is on in a 3-run game, so now it's a save situation again, I believe. We'll double check with our official score keeper, who we need to mention at some point as well. There's a look at the blue skies, a few wispy clouds there. Thought we might have rain tomorrow, but it looks like most of the rain is coming into Central Virginia on Sunday and Monday. So we should have a nice day to play tomorrow. Might be more clouds than sun tomorrow. But it is an 11 a.m. first pitch tomorrow from Bank of the James Stadium. We hope you can join us. It will be game 2 between these ball clubs, and then, and if necessary, game 3 after that. Jack Batchmore with some words of encouragement from the freshman shortstop, Brandon Garcia. How about that leadership from a freshman? Garcia talking to the big man, saying, hey, we got you. We believe in you. You've done it before. Let's do it again. It's Cooper Anderson, the center fielder, hits. With runners on first and second, in the bottom of the 7th, there are 2 outs. It has become a 3-run ball game. Lynchburg was up 9-1 at one point. Runners go. Nobody covering at second base for Holden Fiedler. So another one to file under defensive miscues or mishaps. Sometimes that's a planned call, though. I will say that. Some coaches will say, we're going to have a planned no cover. That way we can't get burned on the hit and run. Don't know if that was the case there, but potentially. 0-1 count. Good start for Jack Batchmore. There's a fastball up the ladder. Last time we saw Jack, it was in a starting role down against Lebanon Valley. He did get the win in that 5-3 victory. I'm going to double check that. It might have been Baylor Cumbie in the win. I'll check it, folks. I'll go to the website and get the box score. Anderson swings through that one. It's a 1-2 count. Let's just go diving back into the stats here so we can make sure we get it right. Lynchburg trying to get the thing right in the bottom of the 7th, trying to get off the field here. 2 outs. It's been a long inning. Here's the pitch from Batchmore. Went in that same spot, maybe a little higher. That time Anderson was able to not pull the trigger. Runners on 2nd and 3rd for Shenandoah. This is the 9th hitter they've sent up. Leadoff man Frankie Ritter began the inning. Is that right? I got to double check that now. Swing and a miss. Batchmore got his man. Big punch out there. 2 left in scoring position, but Shenandoah has drawn closer. It's a 3-run Lynchburg lead in Game 1 of Super Regional action here at Bank of the James Stadium. In between innings fun here at Bank of the James Stadium. Getting a look at Tyler Blittersdorf. I said Shenandoah has used multiple catchers, and I was just so sure of myself thinking they would use multiple again today. But Blittersdorf has done all the duty with the gear on. We saw, I think, 5 catchers in the ODAC championship weekend. Some of that was due to injury. There's a look at Evan Gates, one of our outstanding cameramen. There's Dylan Hall working the camera for us, one of the Lynchburg assistant basketball coaches. And we've got some softball represented as well with Carly Hudnall. Also a Central Virginia native from Russburg High School. An outstanding season on Dawn Simmons' softball team at Lynchburg. Big thank you to all of them. We've got Caroline Gerke and Sam Rice, of course, making it look fire on the social media and the website. Tim LaDuca, we've already ran down all the great things he brings to the table. And our official scorer, who likes to remain anonymous, but we have to say hello to Caroline Inskeep. Oh, another diving play from Anderson. That one bounced out. Did they give him the out? Oh, it looked like it rolled out from my perspective. We might get a replay, though. That was Holden Fiedler hacking at the first pitch. Right in the middle of the roll call for the LHSN team. Let's take another look at it, fans. No, I think he secured it. I think that was the tape on his wrist that fooled me. That shot, a little tougher to see. Cooper Anderson was moving so quickly, you can't even keep him in the frame. That's no knock on our camera techs there. Cooper Anderson just flies through the air. Nice tight green grass turf to run on out here at Bank of the James Stadium. What a play. He's made a couple really nice grabs today. Cooper Anderson. Here's Carson Atkins, his center field counterpart. Put me in, coach. These guys are ready to play center field. Another musical reference for you here. A great baseball song from John Fogerty. There's a ball at the bottom of the zone for a strike. 2-1 count on Carson Atkins. He's 1 for 3 with a single. 1 strikeout as well. Second at bat against Jackson Sherman, who just rolls on. Fly ball right side, foul territory. That bangs off the top of the Lynchburg dugout. Plenty of foul territory here at Lynchburg. One more look at the grab. You be the judge. You make the call. Initially, I thought the ball popped out, but I think it's the tape on his wrist that fooled me, that white tape. I think it's a clean catch from Cooper Anderson. And, of course, it's always worth pointing out, our umpires here this weekend do not have the benefit of instant replay. Full count coming up to Carson Atkins. He'll foul another one away. Lynchburg was doing the satellite imagery thing, and it looks like from home plate to home plate, from Bank of the James to Fox Field, is 1.2 miles. So it's not quite a home game for Lynchburg. It's technically a neutral site. Lynchburg is the host team. But you see, they are the visiting team today. We are in the top of the 8th. Lynchburg wearing the road grays. For reference, Shenandoah, it's 165.5 miles from Winchester. 2 hours and 45 minutes. That's not to the home plate. That's just, I just put in Winchester, Virginia. Another chance for Cooper Anderson, another successful grab. That one probably felt easy after the last one. He got the tent set up, made camp out there in deep center field to take Carson Atkins' potential hit away. So 2 outs. Brandon Garcia is hitless for today, but he has walked twice. Brandon Garcia struck out and flew out to center field. In the postseason, Brandon Garcia hitting .359. He's got 16 multi-hit games this season. He has been an absolute dynamo for Lynchburg at the top of the order and at shortstop. Everything you want from a shortstop and a leadoff man, and then some. And he's just a freshman. Just playing like a grizzled vet, the man they call Hollywood. I call he and his high school teammate Ben Jones Batman and Robin. I actually got that from Coach Lucas Jones. He calls them Batman and Robin. 2-1 count for Brandon Garcia. Thought about the fastball outer half. Elected against swinging and took strike 2. Top of the 8th inning here. Jackson Sherman. Ground ball from Brandon Garcia. Kyle Lisa Fields throws to first. And it is 3 up, 3 down that inning for Jackson Sherman. Continuing to impress out of the bullpen for Shenandoah. The Hornets from Winchester coming up to bat in the bottom of the 8th inning, trailing by 3.
Football has taught me a lot throughout my life. It's definitely had a huge imprint on who I am as a person. Competing at a Division III level created that opportunity for me to go to college. Not only was I the first one in my family to graduate college, but I was really the first one to even go. Being the first one, I'm breaking that cycle, and now that I've graduated, I'm not sure what's the next step, but I know I have a lot of doors open. And a lot of those are open because I played football and ran track here at Otterbein.
For Jackson Sherman, the Shenandoah pitcher, second one they've used. I think he's faced the minimum through his last 14 hitters. I can't say that he sat down 14 in a row because there was a Ben Jones single, but then a double play after that. Gavin Collins also singled. That was in the 7th inning for Lynchburg. He was erased on a pickoff. So not exactly 14 up and 14 down for Jackson Sherman. And remember, he did walk Neves, his first batter, and then gave up a double to Sean Pokerock that cleared the bases. He also walked Gavin Collins in the 4th inning. But Jackson Sherman, I mean, here's a guy, he's making his 9th appearance of the season. He's a freshman. He entered the ball game with bases loaded in the 4th inning. And now he has completed the 8th. I don't know if he'll go back out for the 9th or not, but gosh, why wouldn't you leave him out there if you're Shenandoah? He is chewing right through this Lynchburg lineup. Swing and a miss from Frankie Ritter. Speaking of guys that can chew you up and spit you out, that's Jack Batchmore. He's got strike one, or he's got out number 1, rather, in the books pretty quickly. Colby Martin is 2 for 4. He's doubled, singled, offensive timeout from Coach Kevin Anderson here. He's got his little notepad out. Always fools me when he goes to that because I think he's going to the lineup card to make a change. You'll get your lineup card out of your back pocket as the manager, and you'll walk to the home plate umpire and make a change. He just wants to review some notes, a few keys to give Colby Martin. Maybe Martin doesn't have a lot of at-bats against Jack Batchmore. Just a little scouting report review. I think some of that timeout is also to attempt to disturb the pitcher's rhythm. Jack Batchmore is hard to rattle, hard to disturb. But in Coach Anderson's defense, what else are you going to do? You can't take those offensive timeouts with you. Here's a fly ball right side. Wind going to blow that fair? No, it's a foul ball. Jackson Harding was stationed well in the right center gap as the right fielder. That was a long run for Jackson Harding. He was nowhere close to that. Honestly, if Colby Martin is able to spray one down the right field line, that's probably 3 bags for a guy that runs really well. 1-1 count. Back to those scouting reports, you do have a lot of data at this point in the season. Everything's available online. You can do your scouting that way. You can still scout in person, obviously. A lot of coaches still favor that. The eye test, no substitute for the eye test when you talk to some coaches. But now you've given your opponent the eye test through 4 games. 2 in the regular season, 2 in ODAC tournament play. Swing and a miss from Colby Martin. Back-to-back strikeouts in this bottom of the 8th inning for Jack Batchmore. Make it 3 straight. Gavin Horning, the right fielder, is up. Yeah, full scouting reports at your disposal if you want to use them for both teams. There's really no secrets at this point. How about Batchmore? Working quick, going after hitters. That is so typical of Jack Batchmore. He does not waste time. He is the human pitch clock. You don't need a pitch clock with Jack Batchmore. Horning will ram one into left field. Avery Neves moving over quick. Horning really wasn't full speed out of the box. I think he was settling for 1 the whole time. But he is aboard. First hit, Jack Batchmore has surrendered. In fact, he struck out the previous 3 hitters. Catcher Tyler Blittersdorf will walk in the batter's box. Left-on-left matchup. Probably feel pretty good about that if you're Lynchburg. Gavin Horning does run well. It's a 3-run ball game. Sometimes in these late game situations, you don't want to take any chances. Jack Batchmore does hold runners well. Left-hander, obviously. Doesn't completely eliminate the running game, but he certainly slows it down. Gavin Horning, 22 stolen bases on the season. Delay steal. Nobody covering at second. Fiedler threw it anyway. Horning's going to go first to third. I don't know if you call it a stolen base with an error or not. It's certainly a mental error. I'm not sure who you attribute the physical error to. Maybe the catcher, Fiedler. Maybe he thinks shortstop or second base is breaking late to cover that bag, and they would have been with a delay steal. Again, that delay steal, a lot of fans don't even realize what's happening there. We'll touch on it again after this pitch, maybe. Here's it comes from Batchmore. Breaking ball for a strike. Let's count 1-2. 2 strikes. 1-1 count. 1-1 count is a signal from our umpire. 2 outs. Another breaking ball from Batchmore. Yeah, we might have to put the little deep dive into the delayed steal on hold. You'll get a look at it right here. Watch. Shuffle from Horning, and then run. 3 shuffles and take off. So you don't break when the pitcher picks up. You don't break like a traditional steal. And what happens is just that. The infielders cover second late. First baseman probably doesn't give the verbal call to the catcher that he's running. That is a real weapon that so many of the elite teams use. A lot of coaches don't use it. You got to practice defending against it as well. You see with good reason why. Very effective way to steal a bag. Harder to do from second to third. Not completely impossible, but harder to do because the third baseman is so close over there. 2-2 pitch coming up from Jack Batchmore. Runner at third is Horning. Blittersdorf, the hitter. Got him looking. Just window shopping that time for Blittersdorf. He could not take the bat off his shoulder with a big hammer from Jack Batchmore. Strikeout there to end the 8th inning. In fact, Jack Batchmore has gotten all his outs via the K. Lynchburg looking for some insurance in the top of the ninth. Don't miss the conclusion from Bank of the James Stadium, Game 1, Super Regional play. Oh, what a day out here to watch baseball in the Hill City, the Thrill City. It has been thrilling so far. I know we got a lot of folks watching online. I think we're close to being over the millennium mark. Another look at Jackson Sherman, the right-hander, is getting it done. This freshman, man, what a future this guy has in store. Of course, the future is now. You say that sometimes about young players, and you know how the game is, fans. Anything can happen. But you got to like what you're seeing from Jackson Sherman. Ben Jones liked it. He swung on the first pitch, did not get all of it. It's into medium deep right field for out number 1. So it's 15, not in a row for Jackson Sherman, but he's faced the minimum in his last 15 hitters. Jackson Sherman did allow a walk in his first batter. The bases clearing double from Sean Pokerock, which should not be forgotten. We probably should be recapping and revisiting Sean Pokerock's bases clearing double. And after all, Lynchburg holds on to a 3-run lead right now, so that is essentially the difference. Lynchburg scored 2 in the second, 7 in the fourth, and that's it. That's their 9 runs. Zeros in every other inning. They've gotten hits. They've gotten runners on. Lynchburg has used, I believe it's 8 hits, 8 walks. But Jackson Sherman is stymieing this Lynchburg offense. Looks like he's walked Avery Neves on 4 straight. And with Neves, you never know, that might be by design as well. Here comes Sean Pokerock, that man that hit the bases clearing double into the left center gap. Avery Neves, a good runner, is aboard with 1 out. So Jackson Sherman back into the stretch. He has had to do this. I said 15 in a row in order. There was a double play in there, and there was a pickoff in there as well. So it's not the conventional retired the last X in order that broadcasters talk about. Lynchburg could use some insurance here. We've been saying it all season with Jack Batchmore. He's fine with whatever lead you give him. He's fine pitching without a lead as well. I don't think it matters to Jack Batchmore. He doesn't change his game plan. But every pitcher, I think in the end, would have to admit, sure, I'd like a 5 or a 6-run lead rather than 3, especially against a potent offense like Shenandoah. Shenandoah, just so you know, will have 5, 6, 7 due up in the bottom of the 9th. We're in the top of the 9th at Bank of the James Stadium. The hitter is Sean Pokerock, hitting with an 0-1 count. He did not start the game. He's 1 for 2 so far. Ground ball left side. Sean Pokerock pulls it through. Check the number for Pokerock. He's now 2 for 3 coming off the bench. Outstanding stuff for Lynchburg, who really has gone deep into the bench all season. Coach Lucas Jones would throw different lineups out there all the time. I think he only repeated the same lineup twice in the regular season. Now that's shuffling batting order as well. He doesn't have 600 different players he can use. But the lineup was never really a constant. It was always in a state of motion. Now the lineup has become a bit more concrete, but you still have some guys like Sean Pokerock you can go to. Ryan Long will be an option late in games. Logan Webster. Unfortunately, Lynchburg without the services of Josh Jorman, who was injured in that ODAC opening weekend affair. Josh Jorman, statistically right now, among those who qualify, has the highest average for Lynchburg at 392. But unfortunately, not available. Lynchburg's rolling with the punches. They're going with what they've got, and they're making it work. Long mound convo for Coach Kevin Anderson. There will be runners on first and second when we return to action. That's Avery Neves with the helmet off. Little chat with Frankie Ritter. I talked about that healthy respect these teams have, and I love that. Everybody wants to win. Everybody's playing the game hard, but there's something to be said for doing it the right way, for having that sportsmanship, for having that respect for the other team and what they've done. You know you're facing the best. You want to face the best. These two teams very much subscribing to that philosophy. Jackson Sherman staying on. He's facing Eric Hyatt. Very dangerous. Here's a spin and a pickoff attempt that would have probably hit Avery Neves in his wallet if Frankie Ritter hadn't caught it, but he did. Still waiting for the first pitch to Eric Hyatt. 1 out. Top of the ninth. Lynchburg by 3. Looking for insurance. Eric Hyatt 2 for 4 with 2 singles. And Hyatt has been on a heater. So easy to say. Rolls off the tongue. He's now got 18 hits in postseason play. He's got 10 hits in his last 5 ball games. Eric Hyatt, he's 10 for 20 in his last 5. That math is easy. See if this one can get over Cooper Anderson's head. It will not. Anderson makes that look easy, doesn't he? F8. So move it to 10 for 21 now for Eric Hyatt in his last 5. Still swinging a good bat. I'm not going to say he's cooled off just yet. Gavin Collins bats with runners on first and second and 2 outs in the top of the ninth. Gavin Collins has produced some big bangs this season, and specifically this postseason. 3 postseason home runs for Gavin Collins. It's been 1 at every stop. 1 on the ODAC opening weekend against Bridgewater. 1 against Shenandoah in the comeback win on the championship. Oh, did he get another one? Collins looking for it. He did not. Left fielder Madigan is back, pulls it in front of his face for the 3rd out. So Collins nearly added 3 big insurance runs, but instead the 9-6 advantage is what Lynchburg will carry into the bottom of the ninth. They look to close out a Super Regional Game 1 victory. Last chance for Shenandoah coming up next.
I learned a lot of valuable lessons playing college football. I never thought about the health benefits of exercise until I actually started to talk to coaches in college. It's not only just for performance, it's for life. My coaches instilled the importance of well-being, not only building up strength, mental health, getting enough sleep, eating properly is all what it is to be healthy. I decided that I want to go on a personal trainer and share my knowledge that I obtained in college about physical and mental well-being.
Vibes are at an all-time high for Lynchburg in their dugout. I think they're still smiling and having fun, laughing, joking around, but in the back of your mind, you know, ooh, this is just a 3-run lead here, and we got to hold off a very good offense. How about Pierce Booker leading off? The grad student, doctorate of physical therapy for Pierce Booker. He was the ODAC Scholar Athlete of the Year in baseball. I believe it was last year that was for Pierce Booker. But, yes, he exemplifies what it means to be a student athlete at our level. Another guy, just a very, very likable dude, too. Always smiling, seems to be having a good time. Pressure spot here against Jack Batchmore. It's an 0-2 count against the Jack. That one misses upstairs. Ryan Clausen's on deck. Hayden Madigan 7-hole hitter would be due up third in this inning. There's another fastball that misses from Jack Batchmore. Lynchburg defense, normal depth in the outfield. I don't think you quite want to go to the no doubles just yet. Oh, there's the snapper, broke it off the table. Great action on the breaking ball for Jack Batchmore. Another strikeout. Batch continues to get all of his outs with the punch out. No defense necessary just yet for Jack Batchmore. He did allow the single to Gavin Horning, who got around to third on a steal and then a play where Lynchburg didn't cover. There's another single. Ryan Clausen hacking first pitch, and he's aboard in the bottom of the ninth. Now if you're Lynchburg, you may go to the no doubles defense, maybe. 3-run lead. The on-deck hitter is the key. That is the third run. Hayden Madigan is in the batter's box. He would be run number 8. It is a 9-6 lead right now for Lynchburg. Take no chances over there at first base if you're Ryan Clausen. Good scramble by Holden Fiedler. Now, if a ball gets to the backstop, Ryan Clausen is going to advance, of course. There is still some value in moving to second and getting the double play out of order. But you just want to be real careful over there if you're Ryan Clausen. Your team needs 3 runs. Swing and miss from Hayden Madigan, who is 1 for 3 with a double. He's also walked. Crowd has really been into it. Not a huge crowd. I think we'll get a much bigger one tomorrow for Championship Saturday. But the men and women who have been here have been very vocal, supporting their ball clubs. I think mutual respect as far as when the other team makes a good play. You see the crowd acknowledge. Great stuff. Count is now even at 2-2 after that one comes across for a strike. 1 out. Lynchburg's a ground ball away. Jack Batchmore's probably thinking, well, I'm 2 strikeouts away. Think he's going 12-6 hammer again, fans? Let's see. Fiedler looks like he wants it down. Here's the pitch. Fake out there. A little deke from Holden Fiedler, giving the glove and the dirt signal like you might for a curveball, and then Lynchburg goes up top with the high fastball. That's next level baseball. That's playing the mental game. Full count here to Madigan. Ball 4, walked him. Madigan has walked in his last 2 plate appearances. And now the tying run is in the batter's box. Winning run on deck right now for Shenandoah. This is everything you want in a baseball game right here. Runners on first and second. Good speed at both bags as well. Ryan Clausen at second, Hayden Madigan at first. Outfield still looks to be normal depth to me. Fastball misses from Jack Batchmore. He's been in this situation before. Appearance number 26 for Jack Batchmore. He has 11 saves, so that tells you that he's been in plenty of close games. Batchmore is also 8-1. For a reliever to be 8-1 is almost unthinkable. That means he's entering in some tie games, entering in some games where maybe, yes, he might give up a run and the game becomes tied. That happens sometimes for a reliever. But for a reliever to be 8-1 is just incredible and another testament to his quality. 1-0 is the count on Kyle Lisa. Short mound visit there from Holden Fiedler. Lisa is 1 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. He did have a 2 RBI single. That ball that he flared over the shortstop's head in his last at bat. Batchmore checks the runner. There's the breaking ball for a strike. Batchmore will throw that in any count. And he's another guy, velo-wise. It's mid to upper 80s. He can reach back for a little extra cheddar when he needs it. Another curveball, fouled away by Lisa. 1-2 count coming up here. Jack Batchmore, left-handed pitcher from Alexandria, Virginia. Put together one of the best seasons in recent memory and perhaps in Lynchburg history. Trying to continue it here with another big save. Another foul ball by Kyle Lisa. Good fight he's putting up. Shenandoah is so good in those red uniforms. Just 1 loss in the Reds this year for Shenandoah. Think Lynchburg will wear red tomorrow as the home team? Maybe white on white. We'll see. Another reason to come check us out. The fit check. 1-2 delivery coming up for Jack Batchmore. He's set. Picks up the leg and fires. Fastball out of the zone. I don't know that Batch has lost the zone with his fastball, but they all seem to be high. Again, could be by design. 1 out in the bottom of the 9th. Tying run in the batter's box. There's the breaking ball that misses upstairs. Kyle Lisa has worked a full count. He is the tying run. Action pitch here. Full count with 1 out. Ryan Clausen leads off at second base. He's giving signals at second. Ball in the air. Holden Fiedler, the catcher, will have a chance. Ditches the mask. Working hard against the sun and pulls it in. Great job by Holden Fiedler. That is a big out. Batchmore will help his man with the mask and the helmet there. 2 outs now. 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. Cooper Anderson. No, pinch hitter. We got a pinch hitter coming up. And it looks to be number 40, Sam Horn, will pinch hit for Cooper Anderson in the bottom of the 9th. Sam Horn facing Jack Batchmore. Sam Horn still represents the tying run in that batter's box. Outs at any bag for Lynchburg defensively. And Lynchburg did make a defensive change, fans. Ryan Long is in there at first base for Lynchburg. Here's the pitch to Horn. New man's got to get ready quick. Fastball for a ball, 1-0 count. Jack Batchmore studying the signs from Holden Fiedler. Outfield, a little bit deeper than normal. Jackson Harding, the right fielder especially, he's darn near on the warning track. There's a strike. Infield is deep. Shortstop, second base, and first baseman all have their heels on the grass when Batchmore picks up the front leg to fire. 1-1 count, 2 outs. Batchmore checking the runner. Curveball misses the zone. Came over top. 2-1 is the count. 2-1. Pressure's even getting to the broadcasters here. What a shot. There's the Lynchburg defensive alignment. Jackson Harding has moved in a little bit. Strike 2. 2-2 count. Game 1, Super Regional. On the line right here. Crowd is on their feet. Jack Batchmore, ready, aim, fire. Fastball upstairs. Not what he wanted. Full count now with runners on first and second. They will be on the move. Lynchburg's probably got to throw across here defensively on a ground ball. Batchmore trying it again. Swing and a miss. He got his man. Big strikeout for Jack Batchmore. He slams the door. Shenandoah falls 9-6. Lynchburg is 1 win away from punching a ticket to the D3 World Series. What an outstanding performance for Jack Batchmore. Zach Potts started it, and the thrill from Oilville delivered. Zach Potts will move to 11-0 on the season. It's another save for Jack Batchmore. He's got 12 coming out of the bullpen for Lynchburg. The big knock was Sean Pokerock. Pinch hit, bases clearing double that he sent in the left center gap in the 4th inning. That was the inning where Lynchburg blew it open. 7 runs in the 4th for Lynchburg. It was a valiant comeback effort from Shenandoah. Jackson Sherman did wonderful things on the mound for Shenandoah. He kept them in the ball game, but in the end, Lynchburg just too much. The jack off the top of the deck, slamming the door. Lynchburg played their ace of diamonds, Zach Potts, to start the game. What a win for Lynchburg. It is a best 2 out of 3. All is not lost for Shenandoah. They're going to have to bounce back quickly. 11 a.m. first pitch tomorrow, fans. We really hope you can join us out here at the ballpark, Bank of the James Stadium in the Thrill City, the Hill City of Lynchburg. It was a thrilling day today. Lynchburg gets the win. They are 1 victory away from their first D3 College World Series. Kyle Haney, we have had a blast. My name is Kyle Haney, and I just want to say it has been a blast once again. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Hope you can join us. Lynchburg wins this one, 9-6. Super Regional victory number 1 for Lynchburg. Can they get one more tomorrow, or does Shenandoah storm back? We'll have to see. Can't wait to bring it to you on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network.